The time is now.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yam Yam, Andrew Boki, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA. NUFC Talk.
That could only have been produced by an American on the 1st of December.
We've got Johan Wissa, speaks like Yoda. We've got a player that prefers Newcastle over Sunderland. We've also got Alan Shearer's Team of the Week. Two Newcastle players in it. One was a surprise, I must admit. We've got a referee and Opta's a super cuter for the game against Tottenham and how they look. The referee for the Spurs game, while four of them sit on the knife edge. And then we've got, like I say, who's at the stack tonight. So we've got lots to talk about before we get into the Spurs game tomorrow night, where we have a look at lineups and potential players coming in and out. We'll have a look at, obviously, you guys as well in the chat. So again, welcome one and all. I've got my mate Mighty Win. We've got the Boki with us as well. So like I say, throw all your chat in. Like I say, we'll come as many as we can. We'll stall them. We'll get going. But like I say, we have got some really exciting news to come your way. But before we get into that, I suppose we better get into the housework. So again, welcome to one and all that's watching across all of the platforms. Thanks to everybody in the background that work a smashing job and also produce early Christmas presents like we've had at the start. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoy the show. It just helps us as a channel to get further to other supporters. Subscribe, it's totally free. Smash that bell button for future content. Don't forget, 30 minutes before we come live, always live, never edited, you'll get a notification. If you want to support us, you can become a member, small monthly fee. That's if you can afford it. Don't be a Scrooge. Presents are always welcome. If you've got a question for the panel, throw a Q in front of it. Like I say, not guaranteed. So if you do want to guarantee it, then throw us over to Talk TV Super Chats. Use that $sign, and then we'll give you that message read out loud. And if you've got anybody coming up to the game tomorrow that's celebrating a birthday, you remember, how old are you? We'll shout it out as well. Anybody that becomes a member or any of our lovely members that gift them will also be thanked. That's it. That's the housework done. It's Christmas again, says NUFC Talk TV. I mean, what isn't there to love about that? I mean, we were all swaying and singing, and then Boki tells me that Dan Burns, the voice, where is it?
Live, Aladdin, his voice Aladdin. Of the genie.
Oh, you can only rub one lamp, and if you're going to rub a lamp, you might as well rub Dan Burns.
But Magpie is in. Chris has gotten in the sin bin for that. What a waste of 2 minutes of me life. and reflecting my thoughts, Michael Petit, it's the 1st of December, man.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's never too early to get good news. You know what I mean? And have we had a really cracking start to the December? Because unbeknown to any of us until we got the news dropped today, Wissa isn't in the AFCON team. So he's with us for the foreseeable. So again, I suppose the pressure's now off, Eddie Howe. I am going to put the team on the screen so we can all see it. And he's, I mean, it's really weird because some of the things, what I've read, obviously Wissa speaks a lot of French with Congo. And when you read some of the articles, it made me laugh because it sounds like he's Yoda, and that's why I put it in. Let me clear some of these adverts.
Speaking English, we are not.
We are not. Yeah. So this is Wissa on X. First supporter, I will be. Big Force, the family. And I thought, oh crikey, we've got Yoda. Here we go. So let's have a quick look at some of what is out there. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's either, you're either in or out, I suppose. I mean, what do you guys think of the news that he's not in the side, it's got to be good for us, surely.
Well, it's definitely good news for us. I'm just wondering whose actual decision it was. Because of the bottom line is it's down to him. So I think it's got to be a decision that he's made to say, no, I owe you guys. I'm gonna not go to AFCON, which is a big sacrifice, you know.
Oh, well, like I said, I mean, has it come too soon for him? That's the other thing, though, isn't it? You know, I mean, like I said, he's had one behind-the-scenes match. And we know he's potentially got the under-21s game coming his way. What's your thoughts, Boki? Good news for Newcastle?
Obviously, really good news for Newcastle, and I think it's a hell of a decision. It's a hell of a decision for the lad. Probably one of his last tournaments. Maybe he'll get the World Cup as well. But it's a hell of a sacrifice to make for Newcastle to not go and represent your country in a competition. So, really good news for us. And you've got to say fair play to the lad. It just wins. It has to be his decision. Congo could have called him up, and he's obviously turned around and says no, which is a massive statement. I think a really, really good statement for her.
Yeah, like I say, it just gives us that little bit of light now at the end of the tunnel, doesn't it? If we can obviously keep him fit, there's less pressure on him now because, like I say, I mean, Ronnie Omelette saying there, people seem to think Wissa is going to turn Newcastle into Real Madrid, but he's just going to be rotated with Voltemada. I mean, are you the bar humbug, Ronnie? I mean, are you really bar humbug? That to me was great news. Whether he starts, whether he finishes, it just means that we've got two quite top forward players, if I'm honest with you. Both play similar but different, and they will both give you different loads. Like I say, you'll get a lot more goals from the 6-yard box with Wissa, and hopefully a continuation of Voltemada's selection. It's you know me. The kids open their selection boxes today because it's the 1st of December, and they've got the. That's what they do now.
Calendar,
the calendars, man. You know what I mean?
The advent calendar, you mean,
box.
not the selection box.
Well, I call it a bloody selection box because there's different chocolates in all of them. You know what I mean? It is like a selection box, but there's just 25 of them.
I got the Windows 11 advent calendar, and I opened the first window and it crashed.
When we were kids, it was never chocolates in them. It was just a little bit. Well, you got.
Was it a little?
I was just waiting for that bush to come past then.
A little message.
Yeah, and I said, I was listening to you boys today while I was. We did the show this morning. Then I thought, you know what? I've got the weather down here at the minute is absolutely awful. I don't know what you guys are like up in the northeast. But down here, it's been an absolute howling wind all day, driving rain. So I've decided to do very little apart from be in the house and do a bit of housework and homework for the shows. And I was listening to you guys because I missed the show last night because I've got a family commitment. And you guys were on 90s Mags. Anybody that hasn't already, get on with that because you do get both sides of the coin. If you think we're negative, you should get over there. Anyway, no, I'm joking. D-Man and Jeffo do a cracking job. And you know what? Sometimes it's nice to hear other perspective. To just the happy-go-lucky type guys. And I like to have both of them. Here, look at this. We're already in here. I wish I could put the bars up though. I can't do the bars.
That's Sean. Thank you, Sean. Are you at the match tomorrow? Be in Bally's at 5:30.
Indeed. Who's got the bars? Who's got the bars? If you've got bars, Win, you can throw the bars up if you've got them. You can find some bars. I'm sure you can. Just so we can throw them in.
We can always find a bar.
That's true. That is so true. For me, it was great news that Wissa isn't going to be involved in AFCON because, like I say, we have got the ability now to move forward. And I don't mean that in a like a condescending way. I just think that just gives Newcastle that little bit of impetus now. Where we were all saying, do we need to go and look and maybe in a very thin market in January, and maybe get a young kid that's an up and coming kid as a third striker type of thing, because by all accounts there's still lots of rumours to say that Osula's going to be gone, and I think that's more from him.
And that's the question I was going to ask. Let's assume we get the rumoured 25 to 30 million for Osula from Frankfurt. Would you, having seen what you've seen of Osula, would you take the money and run and use that to go and get somebody who's potentially more advanced and, again, higher ceiling? Or would you say, listen, this is kind of money for nothing. He's shown a bit of promise. Which side of the coin are you on for that one?
I was very doubtful, having done a little bit of a deep dive. You've got to give everybody the opportunity. And I think Alanga, Osula. Oh, I'll get your teeth out in a minute. Osula is one of these guys for me that is very good when he's got ball at feet. He's one of them players that does seem to come alive a little bit when he's got the ball at his feet. My concern with Osula is, has he got the mentality, the brain to work the channels? And we've seen it in spells, but he doesn't show enough of it for me through the middle. I wouldn't say he's Anthony Gordon. You know what I mean? He's not that he's not Anthony Gordon level, but there's a similarity for me with Anthony Gordon, where you get the train tracks. There's just up and down. There's no movement in the spaces, in the void. He doesn't work off shoulders very well. He's always close to defenders, and when defenders get close to him, he doesn't do enough for me to show a different angle. Either, if he's man marked, move out of the middle and take them away, things like that, where he can bring other players in. It's a gift, and that's why nobody or very few are skillful up there. Or you'd have a basketful to pick from, and that's the problem. If we lose Osula, and I say we lose in very loose tongue, because for me, you don't lose anybody until there's a replacement in. So even if Frankfurt come in on the 1st of January, you say, oh, hold on, I'm happy to let him go, but we've got to have a replacement on board before he does go.
Yeah, what about you, Bogey?
Right now, you just took the words right out of my mouth there, Gary. 100%. Yeah, if we can get a better replacement in for him, go for it. But it's one of those ones at £30 million. It depends how much the club are willing to spend on a new striker, I suppose, is the big question. They've already spent over £100 million on strikers since the summer transfer.
But we still need a third striker.
That's just going to say, if they're willing to spend 50, 60, 70 million pounds for a younger striker, then Osula's never going to be that level. So yes, you buy that new striker, and to be fair, they'll only actually cost you 45 million because you get the money back for.
But that's the question. You say Osula, you're quite convinced that Osula is never going to be that level.
I don't think so. But from watching him play, I
agree with both of you, because I don't think he has not shown. People argue that he hasn't had the time, he hasn't had the minutes, and etc. But what I've seen of him, he hasn't blown me frock up, as Gary would say, and he's never really. There's been the odd flash here and there, but that's literally what it's been, the odd flash. So I mean, if you're going to be paying that sort of money, you've got two problems. If you're saying 50, 60, 70 million, are you going to be able to buy a player who's prepared to come in and sit on the bench knowing that he's got Wissa and Voltemora in front of him? And secondly, if you're not, are you not just, gambling yet again on another potential?
But
It's
Winds
a
is
tricky
always
situation, I think.
it's if you're going to play the two strikers, then it's not going to be. They're going to be sitting on a bench. They're going to be a rotational player, so they are going to get a lot of game time if they come in. So if you're buying a youngster, you potentially can say to them, "Look, we'll play for the next 4 months. We're playing 2 games a week. You're going to have plenty of game time. Don't worry about that."
Yeah,
And as
exactly.
we've got Aaron saying here, when we had Wilson and the Rat, they rarely played together. This is the same situation. No way they play together, to be honest. I don't think Howe is adept enough to switch to a 4-2-3-1.
I just think it's great to have in the armoury now. And I think this is, we've often looked at Eddie Howe's changes, especially when you're chasing a game. And when we've seen lots of, and I go back to the Arsenal game, because for me, when you're having to change players and try and go for the win, or at least get the draw out of the game, some of the coaches that we face have the squad, have that depth, and have the ability, and it does go with ability to put the right player in the right place at the right time to get the best result. And we saw we couldn't, as much as we went defensive and we went with that low block, it was just bombardment after bombardment, and they just weren't good balls into the box, or just percentage balls into the box. They had pace, they had whip, and it was very well controlled. With this squad and setup now, if ever you're chasing a game, and whether you start with Voltemada up top or whether you start with Wissa, what Eddie has got in the armoury now is the ability to change it up a little bit and go with that second player to sit in the hollow, because that's always a really tricky place to go and play. And for me, I think it's very much swings and roundabouts, and that for me is where Eddie needs to be looking at now. It's okay having that depth in the squad, and we keep saying, and I think Ronnie's put in there, it's no good looking at depth of squad, and as Boki said before, unless you start looking at players in January, that comes straight into the starting 11. We don't want players to come in and sit on the bench. We need to start moving players into the starting 11. The biggest problem is who do you drop at the minute? Because every player that's in there has all got us to that next level. So the players coming in that will be starting 11 ain't 40 or 50 million pound players. They're going to be 80 to 100 million pound players that have got the option. I think you've got to be very careful. And as we've seen, we've all spoken at length about even playing 55 million for Elanga. That just hasn't worked. Sometimes you can throw top money, and we've seen the issues that the Rats had at Liverpool. I mean, he scored his first goal for them in the Premier League the weekend. So money doesn't buy quality sometimes. The player still has to be able to fit into the system to get the best out of them. And that could be a 15 million pound player, as daft it looks. It doesn't have to be, a world name, a world-renowned name. It just needs somebody that's willing to fight the cause. And I think, Eddie now is starting to get the makings of, if we could get the wings right, and I think that for me is where we are a little bit on the slack end. And there's again, if you look,
there's none of the
transfer
wingers
news. The transfer news now is saying Rafinha isn't dead in the water. They're saying now that there's been another talk about Rafinha because Barcelona are looking at moving players on, and Newcastle are still inquiring about if Rafinha's ready or would be available. Now, if Rafinha come, does that mean the door for Elanga is completely closed? Or is it Murphy that goes?
But do you not think part of it is as well the way we play that with the wingers? If we do get Wissa in, I think you'll probably see a different Elanga when Wissa gets in the team, because Voltemada doesn't play to Elanga's strengths, and Elanga doesn't play to Voltemada's strengths, whereas I think Wissa is a different kettle of fish. So I think sometimes it's sort of having the right people in the right place at the right time. And this season, because of situation, we haven't been able to do that. So I do think you'll see a different Elanga. But also Eddie has to be willing to change as well. But likes of Gordon, he plays a very different game for England than he does for Newcastle. And I think you would see he's a lot more effective for England. So potentially look at large games.
Yeah, a lot of talk out there that Wissa will start on the left-hand side when he plays for Newcastle.
Potentially.
So I mean, like I say,
I just if I was going to be spending anywhere near what the total package would cost for a Pina, I'd be straight in for Semenyo, me.
well, for the release clause, I agree with you.
You know,
but again,
for 60 mil, you just go and pay the wages. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, it's 65, isn't it? The release clause, 65 mil.
Well,
but I mean,
60,
yeah,
65.
yeah.
You're not going to get Raphinha for that.
But again, I don't know if there's any truth behind that. It's just what's come through transfer feeds. So, and you get that all the time coming up to January. So until I see some, conclusive evidence on that, I wouldn't go any further. But for me, and again, Ronnie Omelette straight away. You look at some of the players now that are being touted by Man City. We look at Elliot Anderson now. Looks like Man City are starting to take a shine to him. Ronnie Omlette's already put Semenyo, Man City. Apparently, they've already made Edlung, and already Arsenal have actually. Apparently, he's been a fan. As still Mabad in there has said he's been a lifelong fan of Arsenal. You can see him going to somewhere like that because they are still very weak on that left hand side, and because Semenyo can play left
just
and
signed
right.
Eki.
Who?
Arsenal. Have just.
Eki, you? Yeah, okay. That was
who
easy
am I
for you
thinking
to
of,
say.
man? Help me.
I don't know.
Nobody
They
can
just
help.
signed.
They've just bought him from Crystal Palace, man.
Oh, Eze?
Eze, man. Not Eze.
He plays a 10.
Well, he played left wing for Palace, didn't he?
I mean, he can't. Yeah, but I mean, they won't move him out of that 10 slot if they can bring somebody else in at the right price. And I think that is the trouble now. I mean, Arsenal are building a squad, and you can see that, and they are. I'm going to say Eke. Who's Eke?
What's his Ezekiri?
Yeah,
But
I mean,
with
they've got
some point we
Madueke on the right and Saka. So they'll need somebody else on that left-hand side, Arsenal, to be the force.
At some point, we need to break this duct of the bigger teams, if you like, the so-called bigger teams, getting the players before we need to go out and actually land one of these players, maybe by paying them a little bit extra wages. Probably that's the only way you can do it. But just to prove that we're up there now, sort of, we've got to show that we're
Make a statement.
Make a statement signing, yeah.
I still think, though, and we saw this, didn't we, in the summer? It's still up to the player whether he wants to make Newcastle his home. And I think what we saw, there's still a lot of doubt out there. And this is why we said, for me, now it's continuity with Newcastle. They have to start fighting for, silverware. They have to keep fighting for Champions League to be in with a chance for any of these stars, because that's what they want. That's what these players are looking for. And unfortunately, when you see the likes of Semenyo having these purple patches and having season after season of purple patches, I mean, Mateta, as much as he's hot, he's cold, but now he's putting himself in the shop window for a potential big move. And Crystal Palace seem to have a few players that they can see moving to bigger clubs. But the biggest for me is the fact that Newcastle are bigger than the likes of Crystal Palace, but not as big as the Cities, the Arsenals, Liverpools and things. So I'll class it as no man's heath at the minute. So you're going to have not the top cream, but you're going to have that middle section of players. And up to yet, we've done well with that selection of player. Some of them have, and again, you can count on one hand from the players that have come in that actually haven't hit the ground running. Anthony Gordon's poor now, but his first full season, he was electric. He was really good. Not being so good over the last two seasons, I agree. So, when you look at Elanga, he's not started great, but can he come good? Well, only time will tell, given the amount of games. So for me, it's a case of where. But
with Elanga, I definitely agree with what Borky said. That I think we'll see a different Elanga if he's got a proper striker to have a go at. Because you're saying he's not getting assists and all that, but he should have had a few.
He should, I mean, his record should be a number more than it is now at the minute. But he was aiming at good
than it is now.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's
a
fair point.
I think it's a bit disrespectful to Voldemort to say a proper striker. I think what we need to see is a different type of striker, a different type of player.
A box striker.
A box striker, yeah. But you saying that Voldemort is not a striker, I mean, isn't true. He does score goals, so
indeed,
it's a little bit disrespectful to say that.
You know what I mean.
Well, I know what you mean, yeah, but I'm just saying you've got to call him what he is.
Well, that's what I'm saying with Voldemort, though. We all question what's his best position, because obviously we've seen him in Germany play as a second striker, if you like, more than a striker. He seems to play that role really well, and the reasons why
still got goals, by the way,
and still got goals, absolutely, and provided a lot of goals. But for me, that's
the other thing that we are desperately lacking. Goals. Well, Saturday kind of made it turn the corner with Miley getting one and Malik getting a couple. But we're getting goals from, we spent so long perfecting the system of feeding Isaac, but now Barnes is scoring. We've got Miley from midfield. We get very few. Bruno's got a few this season. But that's largely, I think, because of the fact that we haven't had, strikers on the pitch all the time, proper strikers, as I would call them.
But you see that's
what
Boogie
would object to.
Yeah, but for me,
but
that's why I started this conversation with that when we were talking about players in, and selection boxes and advent calendars. For me, Voldemort is like having an advent calendar striker. Because every goal he seems to bring you is a different goal. He seems to have
it's
quite
a
little
new
bit
lovely surprise.
It is. It's like having he is like having an advent calendar up front, because his composure in front of goal. I'll tell you something now. For a young lad with that much composure, I can see this kid going far.
Me too.
Absolutely.
What do you think of Aaron Kant's comment there? When we had Wilson and the Rat, they rarely played together. How he doesn't think is adept enough to switch to a 4-2-3-1. Where do we stand on that one?
But that's what we've just answered, isn't it? I think Howe's got that in the locker now. If Wissa comes true and he stays injury free, if you're chasing a game, you can go up top with one just sitting in that false 9 position, which I think would suit Voldemort perfectly well.
Perfectly, I think so as well.
Or you could go to a 4-4-2.
No, I'm just on about how's the specific comment is how adept enough to change from his rigid 4-3-3 with a 3 fluid in the middle.
Yeah. Well,
and stick with what you would have to have in those circumstances, which would be a definite double pivot at the back of in the centre of the park.
Hey, listen, hold on, who's this here? Wolfie? Are you Wolf? Are you Voldemort? Are you Voldemort? Hi, chaps. Hi, Wolfie. Nice to see you on board, my friend. Don't forget, people out there in Viewerland, can you smash the likes button for us? Just helps us get further.
I think the question maybe is not whether he could do it during a game, but whether he would ever start with 2 strikers. And he's never ever shown in England to do that whatsoever since being here, really. He's never really wanted to
because he's never ever veered from 4-3-3, really, has he?
Well, to be fair. You have seen Wilson and Isaac up top when we're chasing games. It just hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Because they both seem to get in each other's way, rather than, like I said, because they're both predominantly 9s. The problem is with Voldemort, because he plays in that hollow, he's an ideal man to have, either to stick in the hole, because not only can he score your goals, he's actually got the ability in the eye to provide assisting goals. And we've seen that, even with him being the solo striker. So for me, I think you've got the best of both worlds, having him in the club already, and Wissa now on the door. I think it could be a great Christmas for Newcastle. Let's talk about the AFCON a little bit more. because the news come out today that the Sunderland debacle, where we were questioning would Sunderland be rearranging the game with Newcastle due to their players going on AFCON. Well, according to Keith Downey today, Sunderland's 7 AFCON players are set to be available for the Tyne and Weir derby. FIFA have informed the clubs that they will be able to retain players selected for AFCON until December the 15th. High-flying Sunderland host Newcastle the day before on December the 14th. AFCON starts on December the 21st. So they will have a full squad for our visit to the stadium of,
what?
Yeah. So I makes them strong. Going to be a hell of a game, that.
Yeah.
I would rather we were like that, Gary. I'd rather they did have the best squad and we had our best squad. Then it's there's no
only beat us because we had exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, when we go there and absolutely smash them and come away with all the glory, which we will, then they haven't got we've lost a load of our players.
And would you be bothered if they had though? And that was their cry. I'd just be saying,
yeah, exactly. They chose to buy them players, so
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like I say, it does look as if it's going to be a very, very good one going forward. There's a young lad who we've been linked to before, though, that Sunderland have had on their radar, talking about the Mackhams. But he prefers a move to Newcastle over Sunderland after the 20 million offer report. And again, we've all had a lot of speculation about our midfielders. But Newcastle face a bit of a fight to sign this Guendouzi, according to Calcio Mercato. Sunderland are struggle in their bid to sign the Lazio midfielder, who is thought to favour a move to Newcastle or Aston Villa instead. The former Arsenal talent was linked last time amid our interest in Roma's midfield Manu Kone, not Kanu Kone, a clear indicator that we're looking for defensively minded midfielders in the January window, which, again, it's something that I want to see us look at, more defensive minded midfielders rather than utilising our more offensive midfielders to fill the void. I think that is a must for us going forward, especially in European competitions. And again, it's claimed that Guendouzi wants to play European football and has rebuked Sunderland's advances so far, with Lazio also hoping for more than 20 million offered by the Black Cats. And Régis Lebris worked with the 26-year-old French international during their time together in Lorient, but that may count for nothing, as the Italian paper claims he would prefer to join Newcastle or Villa. What's your thoughts on this then, gentlemen?
Well, that's it. Again, it's all about the pecking order, isn't it? It's where you are in the food chain.
Yeah, it's exactly where we
and he's saying, no, I'd rather go to Newcastle, Champions League 2 seasons out of 4, than go to a lesser club like Sunderland. And that's the way of the world, sadly. I'm saying sadly, that it's just the way of the world, end of.
Yeah. It's just the pecking order, isn't it? Like I say, we have to be mindful of where we are in the pecking order, and we have to literally just get the best out of the players that do want to come and play for the black and white. Because I'll be honest with you, I'd rather go and pay for a player that wants to play for the club rather than somebody who just plays for the name on the back of his shirt. Do you agree with that?
Well, you're always better off with somebody who wants to play for the club. Kim Cam's saying he's a good friend of the Sunderland manager. I don't know. Are we talking about the same kid? Yeah, surely not.
Who
are you on about, Kim Cam? Who's a good friend with the Sunderland manager? Enlighten us.
I mean, Wolfie's saying we don't want Guendouzi.
Wolfie in the corner is saying we don't want Guendouzi.
I mean, he's not a bad player. To be fair, but like I say, does he? The problem is because he's not a solid 6. He's not somebody who's going to knock players out the way type of thing. I quite like Guendouzi, I must admit, but does he suit? He suits more of a 2. When you play a 4-2-3-1, he suits more of that role rather than the anchor in the 3. But again, for me, sorry, Bulky, go on, mate.
I've only seen him play a few times, but one thing I would say is, again, is he someone that's coming in to improve on what we've got?
Again,
I don't
he's
think he is.
more of the specific six though, rather than just a makeshift six.
But is he a better six than Tonali or Miley?
But would you not want to? Well, to not. That's what I'm saying. Miley is a makeshift six. Tonali's a makeshift six. He does a job, but do you not think you're missing out on the qualities that we get going forward with these lads?
I'm not denying the fact that we need a specialist number six. But what I'm saying is this lad better than what we've got at playing number six? So if Tonali plays number six at the minute forward, is this lad better than? Would you put him in instead of Tonali and take Tonali out of the team?
Right.
I know that wouldn't be the case, but you wouldn't do that. So again, he's not an improvement. It's a hard one because you're never going to completely improve on Tonali. But is it again at this point we need to be looking for improvement?
Well, you say that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that one win.
His ratings haven't been bad for Lazio. I'm just having a look at him now. I mean, he hasn't blown up any trees, to be fair. But when you look at his playmaking, I mean, his tackles, Jules won 32, Jules won percentage-wise. He's just under the 50%. So you'd want that a little bit more. And if that's playing in the two, no. But when you look at like interceptions 7, all in good form, block shots 4, fouls committed 12, recoveries 47, possession 1 in the final third 5. When he gets dribbled past, he's only 6. So I mean, he has got that about him in that midfield. And you compare him to the likes of Tonali, his numbers and his figures, from what I can see on here, aren't too dissimilar. You know what I mean? And again, pass accuracy, 88.7%. Now, successful passes, 461, all high end. Long ball accuracy, 71%. See, for me, this is the type of the reasons why everybody keeps on saying, "Oh, I wouldn't want Guendouzi," but you've got to think about what he delivers when he's got the ball at feet. You know what I mean?
But
we still need a passer.
You've also got to think of the league that he's playing in as well. It's certainly not as competitive as the Premier League, is it? So
no, exactly.
Your figures are always going to look slightly higher because you're not playing in such a competitive league.
No, but to be fair, you don't get 14 caps for France.
No,
unless you can play a bit.
But you see, this is what worries me. This lad's already been in the Premier League because he was at Arsenal, and he didn't really get in or involved in any of the heavy stuff. And that's what I said. He's a good ball player.
And that was before they had race, by the way.
Exactly.
He couldn't even break through then.
No. So it does make you wonder whether it's the right move. And again, this is just hearsay. You know what I mean? I don't know whether we are fully in for him because I've just had a look at any of the transfer rumours that are out there, and he's not on them unless you go a month back or so when we first heard about Guendouzi, to be fair. So it's going to be an interesting one. What have I got here? The next, that's the one I've just talked about. Alan Shearer's Team of the Week. It was a bit of a surprise when he announced this at Match Week 13. And I don't know who you guys would think. Who do you think Alan Shearer picked? The first Newcastle player to play in his Team of the Week. Who do you think it was?
Walter Morta's going to... But you would automatically say Walter Morta and Chow.
I would say
Chow was one of them. Yeah, Chow was one of them. So his line was Emilio Martinez as the goalie. Then he went Tete, Chow, Chalobah, James. So who Miley? Was the other one?
Miley?
Nope. Your mate from Blythe.
Oh, Dan Burn.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he picked Dan Burn and Malik Chow as the
as a centre back pairing.
Yeah, as with Chalobah and Reece James, which was to everybody's surprise, to be fair, because they said, if you was going to pick somebody from our team, would you have not picked, Volta Morta or because up top he's gone with Igor Thiago. So an interesting one.
Well, he's on fire at the minute, isn't he?
Well, he is.
But,
He is. Yeah, it was an interesting shout because everybody's critiqued him on his choices. But like I said, it wasn't a bad week for strikers. I wouldn't have thought. And like I say, Dan Burn didn't have a bad performance, even though, according to the 90s mags, he gave the ball away far too much. I must admit, your maths need to improve, lad.
Mine?
Yeah. I only give the ball away 4 times. I said at least 8 red little lines there.
Well, but they're all covered by the greens, man.
Well, that's what you said. That's what you said on the 90s mags. But you could still see the red. It made me laugh. It made me titter. So the supercomputer, according to Opta, has predicted a 54.7% chance on the algorithm for Eddie Howe side to come out favourites for the game tomorrow night. And according to the rumours, there's a lot of Spurs fans already shouting for Thomas Frank's head. And again, we're going to come into a little bit more depth of Thomas Frank's setup against Fulham, like I say, which was a bit of a strange one. Breaking news has just come into me. Bear with me a second because this is about Osula. Breaking news on this one from Florian Plettenberg. He understands that Eintracht Frankfurt and Osula have now reached verbal agreement in principle over a winter move. The 20-year-old is keen to join Frankfurt and considering a loan, and are considering a loan with an option to buy for around 20 million, with a loan fee of around 3 million. The clubs are in contact, but there is no agreement in place yet. The decision now rests with Newcastle. So there you go. Breaking news on that one from Florian Plettenberg. There's already an agreement, a verbal agreement between player and club. So there you go. So an interesting one, if you like, from the Spurs. Lots. So what's your thoughts on Thomas Frank? He's already been chanted as being like sacked already. This far into his tenure at Spurs, understandable, or do you think it's just a coach who's having the headache, as a lot of coaches do when they take the reins from a new club? He hasn't really brought a lot of players in. He's having to work with the players they've already got. Quite a thin squad as well with injuries. I think they're still the top with the amount of injuries out there. I think it's 9 still unavailable to him. Do you think it's a bit too early yet?
It's too early for me, certainly. I think Thomas Frank's a great manager. One bogey?
What I would do is wait till Christmas and rate him to see if he's 3 points behind Champions League. As long as he's within 3 points of Champions League, he's doing a great job. If he's not within 3 points, it's that point that you start asking questions.
Well, you're saying that. And they spent money in the summer, by the way, a lot more than we did net spend. But you're giving him, half a season to show his mettle, as it were. Put it this way, I think if Spurs get rid of him, Thomas Frank will have a much easier job getting a new position than what Big Ange would do. So we are, mate. So we are.
I think with Tottenham, they need to settle on a manager for. I mean, I'm not a Tottenham fan, so it's not really up to me to say this, but I would think they need to settle on a manager for at least a couple of seasons and give him a chance. As soon as things start going wrong, and basically they're a mismatch of so many different managers, players, that as soon as things start going wrong there, they get rid of the manager straight away. I just think they need a manager to settle the team down, get the squad sorted out, and sort of move the club forward. They're too quick to change manager.
And there was lots of fans wanted rid of Ange way before he went last season.
Yeah.
And they've now got a European trophy that they haven't had for 20 years. So, I just say the same as I say about my mate Ed, just be careful what you wish for, because you can very quickly get on that sort of merry-go-round that Tottenham could be going on, where nobody would argue with Frank's pedigree when they appointed him. And they've been through. By the way, these have been through the Contes and the Mourinhos and the stellar elite managers, so to speak. They've been through them, and they're still on this same, just no continuity whatsoever. And if I was a Spurs fan, that's what would be worrying me.
In my view, they went wrong when they got rid of was it Pochettino? All these P's are getting mixed up. Pochettino, that's the manager they should have kept hold of for a little bit longer and let him finish the job he had started, because he was doing, fair enough, things went a little bit wrong for him, but he was doing a bloody good job there, basically.
Well, I mean, and when he went to Chelsea, by the way, they were far too early to pull the trigger on him for me.
Yeah,
he'd finished this season with 6 wins out of 7 or something for Chelsea, and they got rid of him when Chelsea had, rocketed up the table.
Yeah, trouble is though, mate. Some coaches just aren't yes men, and they don't. And I think that is the trouble with Spurs. If you get somebody in who's not a yes man, then unfortunately, I think your days are numbered. I just think it's crazy the way fans just turn on a coach so quickly without really giving him the opportunity. I must admit, though, I was a bit curious, and I have to say curious. We will get into the Fulham and Tottenham game and the way they set up for that, which was weird for me. Very narrow, and like I say, it makes it very difficult for teams. You've got to be good. Like I say, I think there's a lot of players at Tottenham very void of confidence throughout. So when you still don't know your best 11, you certainly don't know the formation to play your 11 in, and then you start tinkering the way they did against Fulham. It certainly makes a bit of a mockery out of what you're trying to achieve. Win, I can see you've starred a couple. Shall we have a look at what people out there in Viewerland have been saying?
I think I've done quite a few of them as well, but let's have a look here on the omelette. Newcastle need to stop worrying about depth. Oh, this is what Bogey's saying. So he's saying, stop worrying about depth. Buy players that are better than the best 11. Then depth naturally occurs. Which was, by the way, my philosophy 2 years ago. If you improve the first team, you automatically improve the bench. But unfortunately, PSR came along and kicked us in the nuts as far as that was concerned, because when you're trying to find, and bear in mind 2 years ago, when Botman and Byrne, pre-Botman injury, Botman and Bruno and Isaac were performing the way they were, how do you buy better players than them when you're not the Bank of England?
Yeah, you've also got to look at the likes of Chelsea, though. You look at the amount of bodies they've bought in, they've paid some money for them, but they still can't find that remedy. They still can't find what's their best 11 at the best of times. And a lot of them are just thrown to the mire, aren't they? They're just not involved or not given an opportunity to play anymore.
Wow, Ronnie Omelette, super chat. Thank you. Ronnie is saying,
thanks,
unpopular opinion, but I don't rate Tonali. Sorry, mate, just lost it 2 secs. I don't rate Tonali as the fans or the media. Check his stats v Bruno. One's way better by miles, and, well, yeah, if you want some stats.
Here we go.
I think a quick point that way Win looks up his numpty stats is that they play in different positions. So Bruno's always going to look a lot better going forward and going to look a lot better as an attacking midfielder. So there are reasons why the stats won't measure up, and also where Tonali wins the ball and things like that. You got your stats ready?
Yeah. Here they come.
Are they there? Are they there?
Because what I did was and I get to my share screen. There you go. These are the famous. I've even called the file the Longstaff files because these were the figures that Sandro Tonali, since he arrived at the club, games that he's played, 40 games played, games that he started, and games that he didn't start. We've started 40 games with him in the side, 49 without him for all the reasons that we all know about. But if you extrapolate all of those facts over a season, we are 4 points and 4 goals different worse in the season over 38 games than with him in the team. And if you look at all of our other stellar players, I've done it for them all now. Lewis Hall, we're 16 points better off and 16 goals better off. Tino, 6 points better off, 13 goals better off. Sandro is the only one that's minus. Dan Burn is plus 20 and plus 20 goals. Kieran Trippier plus 30 and 33 goals. And Sven Botman plus 5 and 16 goals. When I say goals, I mean the goal difference on the goal difference.
As I always say, you can get stats to say whatever you want. I mean, if you go off stats, we've got 100% win rate without Dan Burn in the team this season.
That's
so
right.
Technically, if he comes out the team, we'll finish the season on 114 points. So, you've got to be careful with these stats. We'll go to the games. We'll watch the games.
That's a big sample.
No, but we'll all go to the games. We'll all watch the games, and you see what Tonali puts into that. You've got to use your eyes.
Yeah, you do. And when I look at Tonali, I say probably the best midfielder that I've had in my time going to him. That's watching him play. But I'm talking about in terms of what that superb individual play does for the team. And Bruno does more, scores more goals, more assists, runs further, tackles more, gets tackled more, gets more free kicks, and everything to do with that.
They play different games. They're not. If fair enough, if Bruno was playing on the right hand side, Tonali the left hand side of midfield, and those stats were exactly the same with a proper number 6 behind them, then yes, you would be right. But it's not. It's the fact that Tonali's playing as the defensive midfielder, so he's always going to have different stats to the rest of the midfield.
Right, but if he is playing defensive midfield, and therefore his goals, assists are not going to be as high, etc., 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 then surely the fact that he's playing as well as we all, me included, see him performing, that should have an effect on goals conceded and therefore our ability to win football matches.
When I just don't like this way that you like to put players up against each other in a Newcastle team. You do this a lot with players. They're playing different games. Don't use stats to try to put players down. We all know Tonali's our best midfielder. We all know he's the one that is the future. But Bruno's great, don't get us wrong. I love Bruno, and Bruno's a good player. But don't put them up against each other. They're both different, and they both have different skill sets on the pitch.
Yeah, but all I'm looking at is what those different skill sets result with. As you said, we are not Tonali United, we are Newcastle United. And what effect do those performances have on the team in terms of results? Because that's what it's all about, results. And all I'm saying is, and listen, I agree, Tonali is a fantastic footballer. But just as Ronnie's saying in his super chat, he's not as carried away as everybody else is.
Yeah. I think
I am. By the way, I am carried away. I think he's sensational. I wouldn't sell him for all the tea in China.
Well, it's like everything else, though. You know, you look at him internationally, and that's why I always look at players when they achieve the highest level of football, if you like, an international play. You know, yeah, you're always going to question the opposition, right? And he can't. I suppose he can't fault that. But when you look at them at international level, at the creme de la creme, when you see them play and the way he plays in that fluid motion, you know, some of the balls that he plays, some of the goals that he can score, he, to me, epitomises that midfield role. He's like that general. He's the Scholes of the 90s and the early noughties, if you like. He can play quite comfortably in a free role anywhere across that middle park, and he plays it comfortably. It's not a challenge to him. And like I say, for me, I think playing him in the six, you sometimes get the least of the options that what he can provide going forward. And you know, Yano, who's a massive J7, I've just starred it in the chat there, Win. He's having a go. And listen, you know, quite rightfully. But again, you also have to ask yourself and question. We all watched the Everton game. We all saw them in a very deep role, right? How many times did you see J7 doing what Miley did and getting himself involved? It wasn't there, you know. And that's what I said. I have gone through every single game with J7 in midfield, and he's still to this day in the Premier League 0-0-0. So from midfield, are you getting anything from J7 apart from a blocker, apart from a stopper? Defensive metrics are fantastic. I can't knock him. But when you lose a lot of your midfield because he seems to always drift naturally towards that left-hand side, because that's where he likes to play. He likes to play up on that left-hand side. And unfortunately, sometimes what that does is expose the middle. Over the last two games, against Man City, he was more central and started to become that dominant force in that middle block. Against Everton, exactly the same. And the reason being is he's not protecting or having to protect that left-hand side anymore. So as much as I'll hold my hand up and say, I ain't going to get everything right, I just don't think for us to go forward to that next level, you need somebody like J7 to be a number in that midfield all of the time. That's what Eddie Howe has to learn now. He needs to be picking players for games. If you haven't got somebody in the midfield that likes to get stuck in, then play a footballer. I mean, I'm talking about the opposition. But if you have got a Casado against you, then J7 needs to show his hierarchy a little bit. So for me, I'm not saying that J7's a bad footballer. I'm just saying for me to get to get the perfect solution, you need another midfielder, and I'm still not saying Ramsey's the answer, because as of yet I still haven't seen enough of Ramsey, and I certainly didn't see enough of Ramsey at Aston Villa because he didn't get in the game, involved in games a lot. So I'm still out on Ramsey to be a solution, but I think Tonali playing in that left side of the three where J7 plays, as he does for Italy a lot of the time, I think you may see a difference in the diagonals in the 3v3s that we often produce. And I have got some pictures coming up when we do the Tottenham look preview of exactly what I mean by that with your fullbacks, because we've mentioned it, I don't know how many times. I highlighted it when we went through that really bad spell and the fact that we were 15 metres back, further back, having both Trippier and Dan Burn as our fullbacks. Having these two young kids now as fullbacks, you're playing 15 metres higher. And it was really interesting to see against Everton. I don't know whether you guys witnessed it, but you had, when the ball came back to Ramsdale, what you had was our two fullbacks, instead of running all the way back, they stayed high up the pitch. And you had Malik Chow go right, Dan Burn go left, and you had Bruno and Miley drop into the hole centrally. And I think that was a really good little tactic of Eddie Howe's, because Ramsdale had options in front of him. He had options to the left or right. I mean, the one goal, as you said yesterday on the 90s mag, it's nice to know that the keeper can be part of the setup. 4 passes and you're in goal. And it's gone from the back of the keeper to the goal of the top end, and that's what you're looking for, isn't it? You're looking for that momentum, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think J7's a bad player. I just think there's games for J7 to be involved in, but I also think J7 needs to come out of the team at times to get the best of us going forward.
To get a more creative player.
Yeah.
But I think as well as what
by the way, didn't we have hard lines there? With Caicedo getting sent off yesterday, so he misses 3 games. We are the 4th.
We're the 4th, yeah. But again, I'd rather play their strongest side. I know that sounds crazy. I would rather play their strongest side, because what it does is put you on the same levels. Like Boki said, playing Sunderland with their 7 players out whatever the result comes from it, you can see exactly the levels that you're in, and we all know that game both teams are going to be at a different level anyway, aren't they? Because
I'll just take the result. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though. Both teams are going to be up for that regardless, because of it's a derby.
But
and
you want to win
always
for the right
different.
reasons, don't you? You want to win for the right reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just want to win.
I just want to see what level we are. That's what I want. When you've got both teams fit, I want to see at what level this team is with all these new additions we can become. And like I say, in January, then I'm hoping we can add a few more, lose a couple if we need to, the lesser ones. Interesting news that I'll talk about in a minute about Miley, who's gaining some interest. But go on, mate. Is there some more that we've starred?
No, we've done them all now. That was the last one, the GSM one.
So according to, again, we go on to the Tom Bramall is the referee for Newcastle v Tottenham tomorrow night at St James's Park. And according to it, we've got Lee Betts and Matt Wilkes will be the assistants. Tony Harrington has been named as the 4th official, while VAR will be supervised by Paul Howard, who will be assisted by Adam Nunn. Harrington is relatively inexperienced as a Premier League official. And according to Transfer Market, he has only officiated 3 Spurs games before this one. One of those was Tottenham's 2-1 win at Ellen Road early this season, with the other 2 being Spurs' 5-1 defeat at home to Liverpool last season and the FA Cup tie against Portsmouth 22-23, with the Lily Whites emerging 1-0 winners. So four Spurs players will be pleased with Bramall's card record, because he's not one for dishing out lots of yellow cards. But again, there's lots of players that are on tender hooks, because if they have, obviously, like Christian Romero, he's back from suspension after serving his 1-match ban against Fulham for picking up the 5 yellows. Ahead of the clash against Fulham, it was revealed that Mohamed Kudus, Yo Pelina and Danzo were all 3 yellow cards each, and they have now joined on 3 bookings by Mick van de Van, who was cautioned against the Cottagers. That means that all 4 players are now 2 yellows away from suspension. They will be happy to hear that Bramall has only shown 5 yellow cards to Tottenham players across his 3 matches, which indicates he is not quick to get his notebook out. Not somebody I'll come across, if I'm honest with you, this lad.
I'm struggling myself. That's why I'm just busy looking him up now.
Yeah, Tom Bramall is a new one for me, if I'm honest with you. Like I say, he's quite a new guy to the match. So, like I say, if you can get some information
He's
on
only had
him,
7 games.
Yeah, interesting one. Very interesting one. Just while you're looking at that, I will give you guys a bit of a snippet on what I've just had coming in. And this is Johan Wissa coming into the dressing room. And like I say, we all know, like I was talking about it last night, where, he seems to be one of the boys already at St James's Park with the lads. And this is him. Let me just make sure I've got the sound off, and we'll play.
Congrats, man. Congrats, bro. Congrats. I'm really happy for you, bro. Well done, bro. You're finally upgraded.
Well done, bro. Well done, sir.
Yes. Oh, la, 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 la.
Got a new pair of trainers.
You, last time, family. Air Force Lyon.
There you go. Got a new pair of Air Force, and it's as if Christmas has come all too early for some, I must admit, and not early enough for others, I think is the words. I mean, he seems a really good good part of the crew already, doesn't he, Wissa? He seems to be one of those lads that just embodies what Newcastle is all about. I love it. Have you got anything from...
Thomas Bramall, he's refereed us 4 times with 2 wins and a draw and a defeat. High-scoring games. 4-4 draw against Luton. Well, we'll all remember that one.
Oh, crikey, yeah.
4-0 when we beat Leicester. That was down there, wasn't it? And 3 of the 4 have been at St James's Park, where we've been unbeaten, 2 wins and a draw. And it was against Leicester, his last game for, officiating against us. With Tottenham, 3 games, 2 wins and a defeat they've had. Yellow cards, 3 per game. With us, it's 5. So I assume J7 must have been playing. That accounts for one of them.
Yeah. Interesting. I've just seen that there's an event going on. Is this tonight at the Stack?
It is. I should have been there.
Yeah.
But I had to get here.
Oh, bless you. David Hopkinson and Ross Wilson is at the Stack. According to the Chronicle, what they've said is there's been some developments. Newcastle United CEO David Hopkinson has broken the club's silence on the future of St James's Park. Just 12 months ago, the 2 options of staying at St James's Park or moving to a new stadium were put to the fan base by stadium chief Brad Miller. Blah, blah, blah. And he, again, talking about more seats. I'm just trying to see what he has said tonight. In the session with supporters, Hopkinson stated he wanted to close the gap on Barcelona and Real Madrid, and that the club must strive to be the best in class and get more global follower growth. Hopkinson, speaking at the We Are United event in the shadow of St James's Park, said, "We're not ready yet. What is clear, to be at the top consistently, we need to grow revenues. SJP today is incredible, whether renovated or reimagined. We have not made that decision. We are working on it every day. I know there's pressure. When? It won't be today, may not be tomorrow. This is a complex project, a project that will be the biggest ever." Interesting comments that from the likes of Mr. Hopkinson.
Talking on a daily basis, says he.
Yeah. They want to be as big as Barcelona and Real Madrid.
I wouldn't only be astounded, I would be angry if they weren't, because, I mean, a lot of these discussions are going to be around the planning issues. And they take forever. And so they need to be prioritising that. So it's good to know that they are, whether they are literally or not, of course, a different matter. But
different matter, yeah, of course.
At least there'll be emails flying, both ways, one after the other.
But I think, to be fair, we talk about this basically on a daily basis as well. So, I mean, it depends what level the talks are and what's actually trying to be done. it's a very non-committal answer. Obviously, I've just heard the bit that you've read out there, Gary, but it seems, again, a very non-committal answer. There's no, this is what we're heading towards, or this is what we're doing. It just seems that it is just all talk at the minute, which
Well, you're
after a
right,
year,
mate.
you would hope it was more down the line.
Yeah, you're right, and that's what's frustrating. We spoke about them, dangling the carrot, if you like, because that's what it seems as though it is for me. It's more dangling the carrot than actual news of where we're going. I love the fact that he wants to be as big as Barcelona and Real Madrid. I think that is just words until we see anything coming from a blueprint. Nice to hear. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have those far and wide opinions and ideas. But for me, we've already heard from these experts because of the 28 Euro competition, the 5 games being held at St James's Park. We know nothing can be built in St James's Park. Even development side of things, they can't even really do. And that what the experts are saying, as we've already spoke about, it's going to be 2030 before they even start any groundwork whatsoever. So are we just, should we not just put this to bed and just do it behind the scenes type of thing and not keep dangling the carrot? Because as you quite rightly said, Boki, it seems to be the same thing and the same thing said over and over and over, apart from adding the likes of the names Barcelona and Real Madrid to the equation. And it just gets us all in that type of situation.
Who are both in new stadiums now, and of course he was heavily involved in the Real Madrid redevelopment.
Yeah, I like I say, I just want to hear something, or not hear anything at all. That's how I look at it. If you've not got any advancement from what's already been out there, then don't mention it.
Mutant Design is saying, I'm not sure if you've discussed this yet, but are we aware and happy that the new stadium will possibly not be called St James's Park? I don't know where you all stand on that. I couldn't give a toss. If it's going to be the Google Stadium and they're giving us £100 million a year, that'll do for me, Doctor.
Go on,
you're mute, Pokey.
He's been called worse.
Sorry, I was just going to say the way we need money now, St James's Park's name should be changed by now. We should be, it should be we should have a sponsor that sponsor the stadium. And I don't think I think the problem when it happened in the past, and I won't mention his name, was none of that money was given to the club.
That's right.
But I think with these guys, if they do it and the money goes to the club, then does any
of it be spent at the club?
And let's face it, in the northeast it'll always be St James's Park, no matter what they change the name to.
Yeah.
But on a global scale, if it flashes up on Sky Sports that it's the
Hill Dickinson Stadium,
the Hill Stadium, Stella
the
Stadium,
Cathedral.
Does it really make any difference to her? Not at all. And if you get millions of pounds in for it, go for it. Would be my advice.
The Spotify Cathedral, that'll do it for me.
I mean, anything. I mean, like I say, how many times have we heard the Cathedral on the Hill? For locals, it's always been that, hasn't it? It's not really St James's Park anymore. And you're right. I mean, listen, we're always going to have a fondness of where that stadium is and what it's become. But you must move with the times. I mean, if there's lots of people out there in the chat there that I can see. We can't stand still. We need to move forward. But if you need to move forward, then you need the capital to move forward with those select players that people know are going to move this club forward as a football club. It's like I said, it's all right us talking and being open and honest and saying, yeah, we all want these big players. We all want to be Real Madrid. We all want to be Barcelona. The problem is we just can't afford to do it at the minute because we are. I'm not saying we haven't got the money. I'm just saying because of the structural side of things, we're not allowed to do it. So we have to prove now that we can. And like I say, the only way we're going to do that is by redeveloping where we are somewhere else. I heard that there was again. I was reading that earlier on today, and unfortunately, I've lost it because we know the girls now have found a new home Let me see if I can rejig it. It was quite interesting because according to somebody, they've made suggestions of a £200 million. Is that for the academy?
Whoa, we're going to sell the girls to ourselves.
Well, you can't do it. It doesn't count anymore in this new SCR, does it? That's what I'm saying. They've closed all those loopholes now. So hotels, girls' teams being sold to your, friends' family.
Yourself.
I think. Yeah. It doesn't work anymore. But there was something that I read that they were saying there was going to be. Oh, there you go. The club's owners have reportedly approved a $200 million investment plan for a brand new training facility. Now, I knew we were looking at Seaton Burn, the development, right? Just off the A1 there, we were looking on the map.
Yeah, Holiday Inn.
But I hadn't seen it being approved anywhere. And yet, according to this, like I say, this is Newcastle World. It's been saying now that the club owners have reportedly approved a $200 million investment plan for a brand new training facility that would serve the men's first team, academy, and women's teams. So, had you heard anything regarding that? I mean, I know, like I say, the training base for the girls now is at Cochrane Park, isn't it? With the university, but they're on about doing this big complex now. It must be still up at that Seaton Burn location, but I hadn't heard that they had approved it.
I haven't heard they've approved it, Gary, but I don't really see it having any particular objections against it. Where it's going to be, it's not near a particular housing estate or anything that's going to be affected by it, because you're going to be able to get straight onto the A1 from it. Yeah. I just think it's in such a position that basically the council aren't going to refuse it because it's going to add money to the area.
Well, that's Northumberland Council for a start, so they're not going to refuse anything.
No, definitely not. So I don't think this is one that's going to need massive amounts of planning permission or anything. I think it'll just fly through if they are willing to invest the money.
Yeah, go through on the nod, as they say.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? Like I say. I suppose, yeah. I suppose, it's like I say, plans and planning permission, if you like, still has to be put in. I don't know whether it's green land or, brown land, building land. I don't know what it is out there or what they would need to achieve to get it. But it looks like whatever's there, according to Newcastle World, it's been approved. So we'll try and dig a little bit deeper on that one. Right then, I suppose.
Try and get that for Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll have a look. We'll have a dig deep.
They just need to get the land before Bellway or Wimpy start building on it, don't they?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? It takes a lot now for you to compete with the housing now. If any of the housing people now see that there's land available, it's surely, whipped up very quickly. I mean, around by me, it used to be beautiful. Now it's just blooming houses being thrown up everywhere. Crazy. What else was it? Is there anything else in the chat before we move on to the next section? I know we've got about 40 minutes left before the late evening guys come on with Chris and the lads. So
why don't they at least say we're getting a new stadium? We don't know where yet.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably something.
That's it. We need a training ground sponsor. I don't know. As I said, my theory about this has kind of gone out the window now. That I thought they'd be that what they were doing was waiting until we got the full result of the City PSR controversy, for want of a better expression, and that what they didn't want to do was get a £2 million deal now, which could effectively be a £50 million deal if there were no associated party regulations tied alongside it.
Yeah.
But that seems to be taken. I mean, there's still no indication I haven't seen anywhere lately in the last few weeks when this hearing, the Man City hearing, is actually going to be held. I'm not talking about the 114. I'm talking about specifically the associated party regulations which were deemed to be unlawful. And then that went to some form of tribunal somewhere, and we still haven't heard the definitive outcome of that.
When do you not think this has been going on for so long now? There's just going to be a statement released, very basic information. It's not really going to go into much depth on it.
Right, so if that is the case...
I think all Man City have done is stretched this out, and I think now the Premier League are doing it as well, so neither of them lose face, and it's basically, it was a long time ago, this is the findings, there's not going to be anything happens about it, basically.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then why don't we just go and get for whatever we're allowed to get them in for now, top dollar, go and get them.
No, I completely agree with you.
And make it a year-on-year contract or something like that.
Yeah. And then say to them, look, when we get, you can put a stipulation in, when we get the new training ground, we're paying £200 million for that, you're going to get a lot more for your buck. Your sponsorship jumps up to this amount. And the same with the stadium. You're 100% right. I don't know why we don't do it. There's no rhyme or reason behind it. Rhyme or reason behind it.
Rhyme or reason even.
Rhyme or reason. I'll get me word right at some point. It's not as bad as Brad Friedel last night, mate. I don't know where the hell
that was hilarious. Where did that come from?
Ronnie Hamlet saying we're all going to be biomass before they even mix the foundations.
Well, yeah, that is that as well.
As Size of the Seagulls is saying, we could have a sponsor now on a year-by-year contract until the City case is done. That's
100%.
Well, you've been screaming that for a while, haven't you?
Yeah.
While the City case is wide open still, should we not be just knocking on the door, if you like?
You see, the counter argument is that if you do a deal now, for just picking figures randomly out there, for £1 million a year, and then the regulations change, and you say, right, we're getting £50 million a year. The doorway is then wide open for that to be absolutely challenged on the basis that it's nowhere near market value. If you were prepared to sell your rights for £1 million then, how can they be worth £50 million now?
No, yeah.
When you've got PIF spinning around the stadium on a match day now sometimes, why don't even they just sponsor it? They just say, look, we're sponsoring the ground. Because obviously they're paying for the sponsorship of the stadium. Do the same at the training ground.
There you go. And this gets back to my other argument, was have PIF more or less given up the ghost, as it were. They aren't as intensely dedicated to making Newcastle United number one as they were when it first... The PSR and everything to do with it is just taking the wind out their sails. Meanwhile, they've diversified into wrestling, boxing, snooker, you name it, golf.
PIF will not want to flop, especially not at the type of level we're at football. They will not want us to flop. They will pump. I mean, they pumped 260 million in this summer. When they can, they will pump the money in.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that, because it's pin money to them anyway. But all I'm saying is, have they decided themselves? But make no mistake about it, they are not putting money into Newcastle for the good of their health. They're putting money into Newcastle to make money, which they've done, by the way, very successfully since they came.
Yeah.
It's the club's now already worth 6 times what they paid for it, despite what they've put in.
Yeah.
And that's, by the way, they're worth more, even if you include, as a lot of people like to do, the £1 billion or whatever that they had to settle with beIN Sports for, in order to get the deal done. They're still, hang on, who's this? Yano Y saying, when you're talking out your rear end again. Well, specify, Yano. You've paid £2. What is it that's coming out of my rear end that you disagree with?
Everything. I completely agree with Jan. He's right.
Prince of Chaos here. He's talking about the FFP wiggle room to re-sign Elliot Anderson, and again, we know that Anderson now he's being touted to some big clubs all of a sudden now.
Oh, and
having
Prince of Chaos is saying we should go for Gallagher. I would be all
you
for
say you
that.
like him, don't you?
Yeah.
But again, it's not the. The trouble is for me, he's not too dissimilar from what we've already got. That's what I'm saying. He's more of an attack-minded midfielder. You've got really 3 good attack-minded midfielders already at the club. 4, if you count Willock, and 5 if you count Ramsey in that as well. They're all very like-for-like type of players. I want to see a bit more of a midfield general in our squad. Somebody who's got that capability of getting the ball and then just playing that simple ball rather than looking for the glory balls all the time. It's a specific role to do, and like I say, the likes of Caicedo, I would love to see at Newcastle. I'm not saying Caicedo, but somebody like Caicedo.
But Wolfie in the corner saying PIF will bring everything to the boil for the Saudi World Cup in 34. Yeah, but the point is they've got that now. And that's yet another enterprise to occupy their endeavours.
Yeah,
lads, I think what we need to forget is, but what we seem to have in our head is that PIF are sort of running the club day to day. They'll not be now. They put their management team in place, so Hodgkinson's in place. They've started to build up the board and things. They won't have day-to-day run of that club. Yes, they'll have a big say on spending and everything, but they won't be doing the day-to-day running of the club. That'll be now Hodgkinson, and they've got so many different investments. You can't expect them to have Newcastle United as their main focus. It's not. It's sort of they buy something and they put a management team in place to do the best that they can for their investment. And as you say, they're trying to make money. At the end of the day, that's what they're trying to do. And they're not going to have. I don't think that people understand. They don't have as much day-to-day running as a club as people think.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one.
They've got the one bit of running that counts, which is they sign the checks.
Yeah, that is
Well,
true.
they do, but they'll give Hodgkinson again a budget to run the club, and that'll include transfers and everything, and how the club decide to do that moving forward from now. Because we've got a proper structure in place, it'll be up to the management of the club. It won't be PIF making those sort of decisions.
To PIF, Yano's coming back. I think he's going to tell me why I'm talking up my rear end. PIF have and are spending every penny they are allowed to. Get building approval off the council and we'll see how much they're willing to invest. Well, I completely agree with that. But
you know
are they doing everything within their power to get that planning approval? Because I think the easiest, I've said a million times, the easiest thing they need to do is turn around to the council, mano a mano, and say, look, you either give her the planning permission or we're moving out of town, the lot. And just put it to them as bluntly as that and say, take it or leave it. We either get what we want or we're out of here. And that's the death in Newcastle City Centre.
I was going to say, could you imagine another area of town getting if the football stadium in? How much money it's going to bring to that area?
It'll not be in the city boundaries. It'll be in Northumberland, like I say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Could you imagine how much would Northumberland Council bend over backwards to allow a stadium to be out there? Yeah.
And why they haven't used that clout up to now is beyond me.
Ridiculous.
Because to me it's such a powerful card to have up your sleeve. Yeah. You see, right? We've tried being Mr. Nice Guy now for 4 years. And you're blocking with every step along the way because of a couple of trees, a bandstand, and a bunch of bricks. Now make your mind up. What do you want?
But when did you see the reporting the other day about Lees's Park? They had to knock the toilets down because of public disorder around the area.
Yeah, well,
you know,
it's
it's not a nice area.
Well,
You tell
it was
them,
a bit dodgy when we walked through, wasn't it, mate?
yeah,
it's basically a shortcut from Barrack
Yeah.
Road. From a few dog walkers, it's a shortcut from Barrack Road to the hospital.
But what you say to Newcastle is, if you're the council, look, build the new stadium and where St James's Park and make into like a public area, and that's right
what
in
I
the
said.
city. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Just
and
move
there's
the grass forward.
Exactly.
That's all you've got to do.
I wouldn't even offer them that because I think that where St James's Park is now could become a massive stack.
Yeah, it could. But the thing is, for
and
me,
on match
what
days
Newcastle...
you can increase their revenue even more, and they will know now from what they're taking at the stack how much its potential to make on a match day is compared to what you make actually in the ground.
Yeah, but if you put a hotel on there... Yeah, if you put a hotel on there, and for me, the one thing that's missing from St James's Park is a car park. When you're travelling a decent way to come to the matches, it's so difficult to find parking anywhere in and around St James's Park. So for me, I would love for them to have like a hotel and like a multi-story car park, which all the money then still goes into the coffers.
Yeah, except
Gary,
car
the other side
parks
of the coin
are
is-
not money makers.
Well, they're not, but you've also got the Town Moor, which will open up for sort of events for the Hoppins and things like that. Lees's Park is a bit closer to that. Open up the Moor and allow parking on there on match days, especially during the summer. It's not going to cause any damage or anything.
Park and ride. Park and
Park
ride.
and ride,
Well,
basically, yeah.
It's a bit
park
too
and
far
walk.
away, that's the only thing. But I don't think parking's a massive issue anyway. However, what I do believe is if they moved out of town, you could have typical, like a big American stadium parking lot with trailer parks and what do they call them? Tailgate parties and things. And when it's bleaching down with snow, as our graphics are showing at the minute.
Exactly. Open the tailgate and get a barbecue on.
I tell you what, I believe we should get onto the Tottenham game, otherwise we're not going to have enough time.
Yeah, well, like I say, there ain't a lot talking about it. We'll jump on board straight after this, guys.
NUFC Early Night News with Gary DeJordy Yam Yam, Andrew O'Keefe, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 7:30 p.m. UK, 1:30 p.m. USA.
NUFC Talk.
When I am in that one on again, that's another 2 minutes that people won't have their lives back. Right, then let's get straight into it because, like I say, we've got a little bit to look at going into tonight. Interesting look. I wanted to show you guys this. This is some stills that I've taken against the Everton side, and like I say, this is literally how the lads did so well. And again, we talk about how far upfield we go when the fullbacks are in, and you can see the likes of Hall there just receiving the ball, and how this all transpires, if you like. And Tino, again, pushing the likes of Grealish back, who we all knew was like their outlet. But it's the movement for me. I am going to drop this down a little bit because you lose most of the picture some of the time. So when the ball goes back, it goes back all the way. And you can see Tino's looking to make a move forward. The ball's going back to Dan Burn. And you can see Tino is already breaking lines here. And that's the difference with this setup. And again, it's how poor Everton defended, if you like, and how narrow Everton were to try and compete against our midfield. So again, this one goes all the way back, as I say, to Ramsdale. And you can see what I said to you before. Let me just drop that a little bit lower because you can see everybody in the picture. What I said to you before, how the lads, the two centre halves then split and become your fullbacks, allowing the two lads from midfield to drop in the hollow, if you like. And it's about the two lines of four. And it's just moving players in. And it gives Ramsdale options left and right. And he decides to go on the left-hand side this time along Dan Burn. And from this, what you actually get. Oh, apologies. Let's try and get that in line. What you actually get is this 3v3 system, which allows, and again, I've highlighted on my cursor here. This is Tino just on the halfway line again. Just keeping an eye on Grealish, because if the ball breaks down, what we don't want is a 2v2 in system here. So again, this is why I keep saying about this defensive midfielder. You've got Marley and you've got Bruno, both in the triangles, both in lanes that can receive the ball. Harvey Barnes is out there with the ball at the minute. And again, you can see these triangles. And what Newcastle and Eddie Howe try and do across the field of play through that middle section is 3v3s throughout the park. And it's all about give and go. And as you can see, Barnes has got the ball. Now Lewis Hall is making that run forward, that bursting run forward to try and get in front and more involved. And if I drop this so you can see it a little bit more, you get him going past. The ball then comes through into that section. And again, you can see I've highlighted Tino, because Tino just not looking at the defensive, which is what Trippier does a lot of the time. Trippier will drop into this area here as that extra 6 to give Bruno or Tonali, whoever it is, which loses this shape at the minute of what we've got. And if I go on to the next section, as you can see here, you've got this movement going forward now. So Lewis Hall has already broke the line. The ball hasn't come to him. We've decided to recycle through the middle. Barnes has still got the ball, and it's going to come through to Miley, who's then going to start looking at getting to that ball forward. And as you can see straight away down here, you've got Tino, who's looking to get on the shoulder of Grealish. And obviously now Mykolenko is going to start having to work inside. And what the options that gives Newcastle then is Elanga. He's not in the picture on this one. He's just off screen down in this corner on the right-hand side. He's free and available throughout. So again, we go to that next one. And again, you can see what you see a lot of forward players do when they're playing in oppositions is you've got Lewis Hall now. You can see Mykolenko is their last man because of where you can't see because the choo-choo train's in the picture there. But he's got his arms up. This is Elanga down in this bottom right-hand corner. You can just see my cursor. Follow it down. He's just behind the choo-choo train there. But you can see now where you've got Tino in the middle. He has moved forward now into a more attacking system. You've got Voltemada now. He's square with Voltemada. Miley's going to pick the ball up 67 there in the centre of the circle, and he's going to move the ball forward into this space, which is where that extra body, and again, like I say, you can see this on this next slide. He picks the ball up. So Voltemada gets the ball. Hall is still in front of him now. We've got a narrow 3 against 3 situation if the ball breaks for us. And again, for me, maybe Tino having a little bit more composure, a little bit more, I don't know, elements of being aware of what's around him, probably makes the wrong choice here. Because you can see Elanga, you can't on your screen, but I can see him on my screen. He's just on the verge of making the run because Mykolenko, because of this movement from Tino going from right to middle, has pulled Mykolenko in field. And that allows, if the ball was allowed to go to him, Elanga absolutely acres of space on this right-hand side to actually evolve. What finally happens is this ball from Tino, as you can see there. Like I say, I'll just slow it down a bit more so you guys can see. He's played through to Lewis Hall, and you can just see Elanga now just appearing in this bottom right-hand corner. If the ball would have been played through the space into the area where my cursor is now, I think there would have been another goal. Even though this was close, it was deflected off the top of the bar from Lewis Hall. But again, these are your 2 fullbacks and you're virtually your 2 furthest forward on the field of play during this transition. And that's what these guys give you. And again, you can see it here. Elanga is just out of your picture there in acres of space. I can just slow it down. Again, if you've got just again a bit more composure, the lads are still a bit young. You can see Lewis Hall on the ball, just going to strike it there, which goes and deflects off the bar. But that's the elements that these lads give you. A totally different aspect. Again, it's 3v3s throughout the park, and it's the overloads in the pockets of space that we were, I suppose, really good at the finishing element against Everton. But I do think when people say we played a very poor Everton, that's giving them a disservice because, like I say, we'd all seen them. They're at home. They've got a really good home form this season. They've beaten lots of teams. They held Manchester United away from home, to a 1-0 with 10 men. They were confident. They were really up for this game. But I just think it was the way Newcastle dominated the ball. Even out of possession, they didn't really look under any pressure. So, I mean, just from what I've just shown you on there, guys, did that make sense at all to you guys, the way they overloaded pockets of space and utilised the triangles?
I think
Not really. What it said to me was when Tino and Hall are on the pitch, we're a more attacking unit, which I think is what we've all been saying and what we've missed all season. The two of them in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
I think what it said to me, Gary, was we've got options. If you looked at all them slides, for people that couldn't see the slides, so if you listen to it without having the screen, what all them slide shows was for the player on the ball, there was always passing options there. So there was areas to go to.
And all you've got to be able to do is pass the ball.
That's
exactly.
But it's the easiest thing in football, but sometimes this season it's been the hardest thing for us.
It has for us.
We've made it difficult for us, we absolutely, mate, we have.
There was so many options there for passing that it just, as you say, I mean, we know how good them two fullbacks are, and it does show you the difference that they make when they come into the team.
Yeah. Like I said, for me, it was really interesting to re-watch that game and have a look at these 3v3s across the park. I just chose that one there because obviously it was an element where the two fullbacks were high together, both in a central position. Like I say, at one point, Hall was our most attacking player. But again, I think with a little bit more composure and a little bit more on the point of trying to get, other players involved. Like I say, for me, the ball would have been out to Alanga with the amount of space that he had. But again, you can't fault the movement and what that does and the way it opens up different passages of play. Again, I'm going to put this on there because this for me was a quite weird setup because you've got a 4-2-2-2 setup from Frank for Spurs against Fulham, which is where they've come undone. And like I say, I've put some arrows there because this is the areas that they wanted to try and dominate against Fulham. Porro, we know, likes to go out on the right-hand side. Kudus likes to go out on that wing. I think it was Kudus who got the goal in the end for Spurs. Moani likes to go up top. And what they had is Richarlison just dropping into that false 9 position, if you like, in that 10 zone just to occupy. But it just didn't work. They looked all over the place. They looked a little bit unbalanced with this 4-2-2-2 and really exposed when it come to the width, to the point where you saw Vicario come out of his goal and give that little bit of a rick, if you call it that. Unfortunately, you can't see Udogie or Ilanga because he's been hidden by a train and an elf on your pictures there. But he is on the screen. So I was going to ask you...
Can I just quickly jump in, Baz, please? Because Ronnie Turnbull is in the chat. Ronnie,
hey, Ron,
where's your predictions, man?
It's there.
No,
5-0 2 win.
Yeah, I can see that now. Is that genuine 5-0? Yeah.
Put it in twice.
5-0. Yeah. He's got it. You've got it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what...
you might as well do your Burnley score as well.
Yeah.
You can always change it.
Well. You may as well. I'm going to try and pull these in a little bit narrow so you can see them, guys, because like I say, it's a bit difficult on the screen now. Who do you think... Do you change the side tomorrow night?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you keep Ramsdale?
I would certainly give Ramsey a go. Oh, I keep Ramsdale without a doubt.
Ramsdale stays in now. The one thing I would say about the keeper situation is if Pope turns out not to be injured, it's just been an excuse to be able to change it over. I think what we need to remember as well is that we're putting...
I think that's his Burnley scored as well.
Yeah, I'm just double check.
We're putting Ruddy on the bench. So we're putting an aged keeper on the bench. If Pope isn't injured, Pope should be on the bench, because if Ramsdale gets injured and the fingers crossed he doesn't, or gets sent off in the first few minutes, the option is then to put Ruddy on the field. So if Pope's not injured and Eddie's lying, then that's a hell of a worry, because you haven't got your best second choice keeper on the bench.
No, you're right, mate. I mean, like I say, we've seen you've got Max Thompson, the young kid who's been on the bench a couple of times. I don't think he's going to be that experienced or clued up, if I'm honest with you, in case that happens. I think it says something to me that Pope must have something. Pope must have said something to him that he's got this, I don't know, niggle at the back of his leg or something like that when he's had these scans on. Or if I'm honest with you, I don't think he wouldn't have risked not having Pope on the bench, Bokeh.
No.
I mean, you've got a point, mate. Do we go with this age keeper? Well, who else do you pick? Gillespie or Max Thompson?
Yeah, but that's the thing. But as I say, if it turns out Pope isn't injured,
That's it.
and this has all just been a route to get him in, to get him out the team, then we're not. Eddie's not doing the best thing. Eddie's not doing the best, and if Pope is refusing to be on the bench, neither of them are doing the best thing for Newcastle United.
No, that's true. I totally agree with that as well. Your back four stays the same. I mean, obviously, Botman's got this back injury. We know he's not going to be available for Spurs. Obviously, we've heard now that Trippier could be out for several weeks, not the 4 weeks as anticipated. So he could miss the entire month of December. Again, this is what you get with aged defenders, unfortunately, or aged players. You will get niggles, and unfortunately, they just don't heal as quick as they should do. And this is, for me, why I keep saying the loyalty and the sentiment has to go. You know, we keep these players until they're on Zimmer frames, and you just don't get anything back. Whether you get 5 million, for me, you take 5 million and you say thank you very much for your services. But there has to be a bit of a shake-up in our defensive lineup. I think Kraft has gone in January. For me, like I say, it's a must to look at fullbacks going forward. Your back four stays the same then? I wouldn't have thought that you can shift your fullbacks anyway. I say, and I think that's the risk versus, if I'm honest with you, both coming back from lengthy injuries. His game's coming thick and fast now in December. Can we keep these two fit going forward? Midfield, this one's going to be the shake-up for me. I think this is going to be Eddie's, I suppose, going to bed tonight, trying to pick a three in the midfield is probably the hardest decision he will have. What's your thoughts then on this mid three?
It's a lovely problem to have, isn't it? I think Tonali comes back in, end of story, for me.
For
Bruno, for me. You give Bruno a rest.
Tonali comes in and Ramsey comes in, and on Miley's performance, he's nowhere near burnt out, and 2 games a week shouldn't be bothering him. So I'd probably play Tonali, Ramsey, and Miley.
Completely agree, Win. Completely agree.
So Tonali, Ramsey, and Miley. So
you wouldn't completely agree, Win.
Right. You see, for me, this is probably a game where you would want somebody like Joe Linton in.
But we keep saying that, Gary. Basically, with Joe Linton, all we're doing is at times, and the heat map proves it, we're playing a player who's meant to be playing central, well, like an attacking midfielder, but we're basically playing him as an extra left winger half the time. I think maybe Ramsey deserves a chance, and I would have Ramsey instead of Joe Linton. But it's personal choice, obviously.
No, I'm just saying, because they'll go with this box midfield. I have a feeling they'll stay with a box midfield, right? And that's what they'll try, outnumber us. And that to me is you've got to have somebody who's a little mobile, but who's willing to put a mark.
Put his foot in.
Yeah, put a mark on somebody. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm saying, we know Bergvall, he's a young lad. I think, Polina, he's a good footballer. When you've got the likes of Archie Gray, and Bergwijn, two very good players, but very young, very raw. You've got somebody like Joe Linton who's bearing towards you, unsettles the nerves a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I think this is probably one of those times where I would say J7 fits the void. And if you look at recent games when we've played Spurs, J7's actually had a good game against Spurs.
Yeah, he has. He scored a couple of goals, you know.
If they play that way against us, they're in serious, serious trouble.
Yeah,
Any Tottenham fan watching, the main reason is Hall and Tino are going to just make hay while the sun shines down both flanks.
I agree with
them two play and they play that formation, that frees up them two lads, basically.
And the thing is, if then they use two of their boxes you've got them there, guys, to go and cover a rampaging Hall and Tino, then all of a sudden we've got 3 against 2 in the middle.
That's exactly right. And that's what Fulham did. That's what I'm saying. Fulham worked this system out against them. And where you think like Thomas Frank's going to have one over with his box midfield, Fulham just went wide virtually all the time. And they had to separate, you know. It's good in certain teams. I mean, Chelsea do this system very well, the box midfield. But again, they utilise fullbacks to come in and be that extra body. We have tried it at times, but we don't really execute it very well. And that's with Trippier in. Trippier will come in and sometimes be that right box area. So where Archie Gray is now, coming from right back into there. The same as Caicedo does, but he's playing right back for Chelsea. So it's an interesting setup. But like you say, I think if Thomas Frank comes to St James's Park with this setup, I think there's going to be a number of goals in the game.
If they set up like that in the first 20 minutes, it could be like the game the other year when we scored 5 goals in the first 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
Because that team with our 2 fullbacks is just setting them lads up to do exactly what they do best.
So let's have a look at what you guys said then, so we can see how it looks. You said Ramsey and Tonali and who else?
Ramsey, Tonali, and Maley for me.
Yeah,
right, so 100%. that's how you guys set it up then. Anything changed?
Or even. I mean, you know, Ramsey's got to start getting minutes. We've paid £45 million for him, so he's got to start getting minutes. But does he want Willock in the shop window again? Because to be fair, Willock's done okay his last 2 games.
Yeah, but he's played right midfield, Win.
Yeah, well, you can play him left. Or play him right and play Tonali left. That's where he plays for Italy.
Pop Maley back into the back.
Would you not put him in a Langer slot on the right side of midfield, or would you put Murphy in?
Elanga, I said this.
I would give Elanga another game for me.
Me and Win both said this last night on 90s Mags. That lad had his best game in a long time if not ever, against Everton. He's got to stay in the team. You've got to build his confidence up. If he gets another assist or gets a goal, you know that's maybe his season starting to fly. And especially if Wissa's coming back as well, you know, he's got that focal point in front that he's going to go for. Then you know this could be the making of the lad. So you, in my view, you don't drop him for this game. You keep him in 100%.
So your front 3 then stay the same. It'll be just the mid 3 again, which is nice to have. 2 new faces, 2 fresh bods in that midfield to compete. I think, like I say, I think that'll do for me. Thank you very much. Would you bring Gordon back left side?
I was going to say the only question is whether you bring Gordon back in and give Barnes a rest. I'm not sure on that one.
I might bring him on, depending on what sort of game Barnes is on.
Yeah,
I think Barnes has earned his stripes.
Yeah, I agree. But again, you know, we heard Eddie Howe in the presser, didn't we? Well, some of us did. Some of us were still in bed. We heard him in the presser say, you know, he's talking to the medical team and he'll assess today from the information that he's given what he does when he selects the team. So it's going to be an interesting one. But like I say, if Spurs come at us with anything like that, I think we are in for a bit of a fun time. It's like I say, really interesting when you look at Spurs, though, isn't it? When you look at where we are regarding head-to-heads with Spurs. Across all competitions, Newcastle and Tottenham have met 173 times. Of those games, Tottenham have edged overall with 74 wins compared to Newcastle's 65, with about 34 draws. However, that's a broad historic view. In recent years, Newcastle have done much better versus Spurs. A recent head-to-head in the last 6-7 meetings across competitions, Newcastle have won 5 of 6 versus Tottenham. In 24-25 Premier League season alone, Newcastle beat Spurs twice, both home and away. At home, especially at St James's Park, Newcastle have recently been dominant. Their last 3 home league wins over Spurs have combined a goal difference of, how many do you reckon? Plus-wise.
Oh. We are
last
that games,
three.
did you say?
Over the last 3 games.
Oh, 3 games. Well, 6-3 plus 10.
Perfect. Spot on. Scored 12, conceded 2.
10.
There you go. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It is
There we go.
the evening time.
Santa Claus is here.
Santa's here. He's had his
That's up,
hair
baby.
cut.
Hey, it's beginning to look a lot like
Christmas.
There you go. It's definitely cold. Like it, man. It is knackering here, man. It cuts through you here in America right now. So yeah, but anyway, we're inside, so we can't complain.
Exactly.
Other people
It's
actually
nice and warm.
other people are actually out there working for real. You know, so
Throw a couple of
there
more
you
logs
go.
on that fire.
Oh yeah, man. We could some
Right
some
then,
nuts
gentlemen.
roasting.
Oh, those chestnuts roasting on a
Chestnuts
fire.
roasting. There you go, man. There you go.
Indeed.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Right then, lovelies. I'm
good
going to
show.
love you. Thank you so much, sir. I will see you all tomorrow.
That's
Don't
what
forget,
you call
come
a
and join
fire.
us. That's what you call a fire.
That's because you're in hell, heathen.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's
That's
exactly
what-
what it is. Those
Yeah,
horns
that's
are
the
going to
problem.
come out of them forehead in a minute, lad.
Oh yeah. All right then. 9:30, lads. How's it going, Boki? We got Boki. We got. Thank you very much, Gary. Roy should be joining us at any moment given in time. Appreciate you, mate. And
Take care.
tomorrow,
Have a lovely
guys.
one.
by the way, live commentary with Gary and Boki for the match. So join us for that one. But we're live. We're gonna continue the show here, late night show right now. And how about they listen to what was that wonderful song you guys listened to? It's the most wonderful time of the year. You guys were listening to that earlier on. We're now let's listen to the good old Dean Martin and Blue Eyes Frank Sinatra tell us how they feel right now. It's the late night show, folks.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Mighty Win, Rory Caviani, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hey, couldn't think of any better place to be. It's a marshmallow world that we live in right now. It's December, ladies and gents. 1st of December. The holiday season is here. Me and Boki living up the spirit. You know, Mighty Win, he's a heathen, so he doesn't celebrate any of this, man. But he'll find out. He'll learn the hard way. Trust me. Once he'll learn the hard way. Anyway, Roy, of course, joining from the car. He's gonna get us. He's gonna get in the studio. You better put your hat on when you get there to the house. But welcome, folks, to the Late Night Show. We are live. We are live here on NUFC Talk, and we take Christmas to heart, man. We gotta rock it up, you know. Actually, I didn't think this one through because I do have an elf's hat and it's green, so it's actually I have nothing on my head. Only thing is red. So, but actually, how is Boki's not disappearing? That's so weird because he's got a
green screen.
he ain't got a green screen. Okay, you got a virtual one. Anyway, folks, we are here on NUFC Talk Live. Don't forget to smash the like button. Let us know what you think in the comment section down below. And actually, you can phone in and have your say about the current topics that we're going to discuss tonight for Newcastle United. 0191-916-8864. You can have your say. And yeah, just call us and whatever you want to say, whatever you want to talk about call in and have your say. Maybe you know why will give us a call because he's been going at the mighty wind saying that he's been talking rubbish, and that's fine, of course. Well, I mean, he's not discovering America. We know that. It's, every day is that crap. But anyway, so how's it going, lads? Good win over the weekend. Didn't get to talk to you about that. Good win. Exactly. We did what we had to do. So got to praise the team when you get the job done.
It's always a good week when you win your match at the weekend. Always.
Well,
No matter how you do it.
No, it doesn't matter how you do it. To most critical thinking fans, it doesn't matter how you do it because it's not sustainable to just do it. Own goal at the end of the game. You celebrate it, but of course you're going to look at how you did it, or else it's kind of pointless, man. But we did it. We did a great job. We did the set pieces were great. Our best center forward, the replacement of Isak, is very much in the building. He's scoring goals. So our best center forward that we have available and not available is playing on the pitch, and he's scoring goals. So happy days are here again for the Toon. We'll see where Wissa will fit into this lineup. We'll have to make some room to fit him somewhere in the starting 11. I'm not sure that Eddie Howe will put Wissa and Voltemata. Therefore, I think all of us can agree that Voltemata needs to start because we do have at least half a brain. I would assume that all of us would say that Voltemata needs to be starting for Newcastle United. And so Wissa would just have to come off the bench or play winger or, But if we try to get Rafinha, I got in front of me, we got Rafinha coming. So what's the point in that? I mean, I love Rafinha, don't get me wrong. I'll get Rafinha in, but some folks are not going to be happy about that. Maybe Gordon is going to be sent off.
Well, it's either two aren't listening. Chris, I think you're right. I don't understand if he's not going to go with two up front. Why change the Why bring another striker in? Unless it's a youngster to try to develop, there's really no point because they're not going to get a chance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, you sign Rafinha, he's gonna sign. We're gonna wait for the mighty wind to decide to do his job and talk. He's over there fighting around with OF.com.
I'm just putting these scores in so I can let you know who hasn't got the predictions in for tomorrow.
Well, listen. If people, we don't babysit people, man. They need to put in their predictions. If not, they get 0 points. Plain and simple. I'm kind of moody today, man, because I woke up at 2 a.m.
I was going to say, what side of the bed? You're coming on with your Christmas hat on, and then you're being all grumpy.
Yeah. Well, no, because you've been the Grinch for the whole show, man. You've been the Grinch. You've been the whole. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. So you're not with the spirit, man. But Voltemata can't get off this team. I think we all agree on that. So where's Wissa going to fit? I don't think he's going to. I agree with Boki. He's not going to play with two strikers. So.
I don't think. Did you say that, Boki?
Yeah, so he's never played with two strikers.
Oh. He doesn't do that.
Hang on a minute. I thought when Ronnie Omelette put the comment in early doors there, saying that Eddie Howe basically didn't have the wherewithal for to change to a 4-2-3-1. I thought you disagreed with that, as I did.
No, I disagree with the fact that was the right system to go with. I just said Eddie wouldn't do it. He's never played two strikers.
Well, first of all, 4-2-3-1, that's not two strikers. So what are you on about? 4-2-3-1.
Well, no,
that could be a midfield.
You play Wissa as the 1 and Baltimore as the 10.
No, we lose every game like that. You don't want to do that. We'll get relegated, man. We can't. It makes no sense. To take out the main striker, the guy that we actually bought to be a replacement for Isak, not the guy that we bought to replace Callum Wilson. So the replacement for Callum Wilson, he needs to be fighting for his spot. He needs to be, coming in as a sub, especially with this injury that he's gotten. Voltemata, replacement for Isak, £69 million, came in scoring goals like it's going out of style when he's fed the ball. So why are we whinging about? I mean, he's the proper center forward. He's doing his job. Why are you whinging about? You feed the guy, he scores in any type of way too. So you don't have to change the team just to fit.
He scored in Germany as a false 9.
Hang on.
No, he didn't. He's the 9. He's the 9. What are you on about?
you're trying to argue with a guy here who was trying to bring up the point that Tonali shouldn't be in the team because of his stats.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but again,
you cannot win. You cannot win.
Isn't it? Is numptiness at full display? To be fair, the thing is, Eddie Howe is proven. He even said it in the press conference against Wolves in the beginning of the season. That's not his thing. That's not what he does. That's not his mojo. You know, he's not opposed to it as a resource to do this, to do that, to win a game, maybe to draw here and there. But it's not what he does. Never has been. So why are we all of a sudden going to try to, because we want to fit it into our narrative and fulfill our ego as fans, basically speaking, the mighty wins we have, you know, to put in Wissa for what? Wissa hasn't proven anything. You have to try him, of course. You have to give him minutes.
Wissa has
this
proven
notion,
everything.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't proven anything. He's proven that.
Not for us, he hasn't. But he got more non-penalty goals than Isaac last season.
Yeah, that's fine. But we got Voltemata. So what are you talking about? Voltemata scored 1 penalty out of 6 goals, I believe. And if you count all of the goals, that's 1 penalty. But you can't.
I think you can perfectly easily.
Yeah, but why do you go on? We're trying to reason and actually use what Eddie Howe's actions is somewhat of a base to our opinion. I would assume he doesn't do that. So he had Callum Wilson at the time when Callum Wilson was in his heyday. We finished the Champions League the first time. He was one of the best strikers. Well, he was probably the best striker we had.
Very rarely.
But when we had them, they didn't play with each other.
Did he very rarely, when we had them both fit simultaneously, you can count on one hand the number of games where both of them were actually fit.
But I don't think he ever started with him. I don't think he ever started.
I don't think he never started him.
Just a quick point, Chris. Wynn got put in prison in the first show and we didn't have.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I saw that. I did see that. Well, that doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
And snitch.
There you go.
Don't bend
Snitches
over in
get
the
stitches.
shower, son.
Snitches get stitches, baby. Snitches get stitches. Good job, Bogey. You know, he doesn't do that, so we can keep hoping and praying. Like you were hoping that Ramsdale was going to play. You know, he'll do it. He'll do it again. He'll do it this week, and he pulled Ramsdale. Don't worry, didn't worry. He never did it. He did it this week, and he was hurt. He had to put him on. So you know, I want to assume. Well, I'm going to assume that we have a manager that's not a liar, a deceiver, a scammer. I would hope that we haven't hired somebody like that, or else he needs to be sacked on the spot.
We've got a manager who looks after his players.
And looks up to what, man? You can't lie. This is not sustainable. You can't lie with an injury. The truth will come out, and he's going to look like a bigger fool. So I would assume that Eddie Howe is never going to just lie blatantly about an injury. You know,
so he's just going to come out and say, "Pope, you dropped because you dropped a proper ball."
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to say nothing. He just drop. It's a managerial decision. Why are you acting like as if this is open heart surgery or something? It's a managerial decision, man. He cooked it up. He doesn't have to say anything.
He's got to manage dressing room morale and public opinion. By the way, that's
public
his job.
Opinion. What's the public opinion of getting on dropping a goalkeeper? What's so bad about that?
What's bad about it is that you're dropping him after he's made after he's ninth made against Marseille.
Yeah, and that's life, man.
So you're hanging him out to dry when there's no need to.
No, not really, because Ramsdale, if he does it, over a long period of time, then he'll get dropped, and the other one needs to be put on. It's simple, man. What is this bubble wrap world you want to live in, man? These are grown men getting paid a lot of money. Trust me, they can deal with it, man. I know you can't have swimming pools.
They've got all the egos to go along with that.
Man, you're babying this place too much, man.
But when you're
babying this place,
it's the right decision to play Ramsdale. We've been shouting out for weeks.
Absolutely.
He does it, and then you disagree.
Who's disagreeing?
But Win, don't you think that the fans will look at Eddie Howe?
I've just agreed with you absolutely that Pope should be on the bench.
Yeah, okay.
To
Well,
prove
I think
that he's
we all
now
agree.
number 2.
But I think we all agree on that.
Why isn't Eddie doing it? He's not injured. Let's face it. Pope is not injured.
Well, we don't know.
We're due. It would be way
what-
too much of a coincidence.
Well, first of all, have they come out and say what? Have they come out and say what type of injury he's had?
It's a groin. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, well,
It's a groin injury.
Yeah, but the groin, yeah, that's you can be hurt. That's pain actually. You know, you can say I feel pain in my groin. And listen, it could have been Pope said I have pain in my groin, I can't play, and then obviously they have to listen to him because you can't prove pain. Pain is there, so it could be that as well. You know that Pope has lied to Eddie. That's fine.
Yeah,
you know,
that's another option.
It could be.
That Pope, knowing that he was going to get dropped after his.
But to be honest, no matter,
has said, I'm injured.
But no matter how you look at it, when it looks bad, like either the player doesn't have a personality to just deal with his consequences, let Eddie Howe do his job, and or Eddie Howe doesn't have the personality to just make a managerial decision when he needs to. I mean, to me, that's why, in my opinion, by doing all of this, if Pope is not hurt, by doing all of this, you created a bigger problem than what it actually is. It's as much as a big mistake that he made that game. Actually, not just that game. For a long period of time now, I read that he cost Newcastle, I think, 12 points or 9 points, 12 points, whatever. That's a lot of points to be in the Premier League, to be honest. And he made a mistake. Then the manager drops him. You know, he gave him enough opportunity. He has to work his way back. What is so difficult about that? What is the morale? What is Pope going to do now? I don't want to play for Newcastle no more. I dropped the ball and the manager takes me off the team. I'm done with Newcastle. I don't want to do it no more. Is that what we really? You understand that we're catering to the Isak behavior? We're catering to to potentially a Pope behavior. We're catering to
any need to make it as black and white as what you are wanting to make it.
But you don't think that if you lie about an injury, that's you don't think fans? You think fans are stupid? You think Newcastle fans are daft to not realize what's going on?
So do you think every time a manager comes out, any manager comes out and gives the press a briefing that everything he says is everything latest, up to date, absolutely fact?
But you're acting as if I'm saying that Pope needs to be, or Eddie Howe needs to come out and say Pope is a numpty, so I dropped him. I never have said that. But don't make a lie.
But that's effectively what you would be saying.
No, not at all. You just so no player in the world needs to be dropped.
On the back of what you're saying, as he did with Burn, as soon as Burn come back from suspension, he got straight back in the team. Does Pope get straight back in the team when he's fit again?
In Boki, 100% before he's allowed to say something. You now have opened up a can of worms. Not only would you be lying to the fans, and they know you're lying to them, which is even worse. That now, when he becomes fit, you know, he's essentially going to have to make eventually he's going to have to make a decision whether drops him officially or he doesn't. So he's going to have to make the decision.
Because then Eddie can turn around and say, right, you're fit now, excellent. But Ramsdale, as with any other player, he's got his place in the side, he's performed, so he's there until somebody proves to me that they're better than him.
So what did Shaw do wrong to get dropped? What did Shaw do wrong to get dropped out that team?
Hey, man.
Well, that's we're talking about goalie here, which is, you know, when you're talking about rotation, you don't need to rotate goalkeepers.
I'm not talking about rotation. What did Shaw do wrong? He wasn't unfit. He was back in the team. What did he do wrong to get dropped for Burn?
He got rotated.
What happened with Botman?
Which is what you've been screaming for.
Botman, it's not about us, man. Well, of course we want Ramsdale to play. First of all, I don't think Ramsdale is Oliver Kahn by any means. He's just another option, or maybe a better option on Pope. We don't know yet. We got to wait what he does. But maybe a better option. So he's got to do it for the better of the team. What about all these feelings, man? It boils me piss. as a good old Jordy would say, about these feeling thing. This feeling, my feelings hurt, so we all got to win. Now we got 20 competitors, 20 prizes so everybody can win. What is this, man? Kindergarten. I mean, it's to me, it's creating more than what it should be.
Well,
Botman got dropped. Nobody. No.
What you are doing is creating more than what it should be.
Because you feel Newcastle fans are daft. You are going with the narrative that the rest of England has against the Northeast. To say the Northeasterners are daft. They don't understand. We're just going to tell them Pope is hurt, and they're going to be like, "Oh, Pope is hurt, no problem, man. We're daft anyway. We believe what the manager says." And that's not how people are, man. People can see through and through. They can see what's going on. They're not stupid. So now, eventually, Eddie Howe is going to have to drop Pope, or is he going to put Pope back in then after 2 weeks when he is over the injury? How is that going to look?
Well, that depends
Eventually,
on
you
how
got to make
Ramsdale's been playing.
Oh, wait, man. Yeah, when. That means you're telling me the manager has no balls to make a decision, man. And to me, that's that's worse than maybe not making a decision on time of Joe Linton or dropping Joe Linton or Pope or whoever's playing bad. A manager that has no personality to just make a decision, man. We are knackered for real.
We are knackered.
Roy, are you in there?
I'm here, mate. I'm here. I'm just trying to change the camera.
So we got Roy back in the building now. Roy, what do you think about this whole Pope situation, man? Because we shouldn't even be talking about this, but you're going to tell me that all of a sudden he has a growing issue. As they would say in London. An issue? Come on, man.
If you believe there's anything wrong with Pope, then you're daft as a get.
There you go.
He's never... there's nothing wrong with him.
Right,
I think Eddie's done. I think Eddie's done that to protect him, just from.
But how much protection is that though?
But just for confidence and stuff, because Eddie knows, Pope knows, all the players know that Pope has cost us at least 9 points this season, and the Marseille game as well. And then just like to punish him like this after all the last 3 years, because Pope has got, just like Eddie does, he's got credit in the bank as well. It just seems that we always use this. So it's given you just go and punish him like that in public, or what do you call it, hang him out to dry. Because Pope really wasn't the main reason why we've been rubbish all season, but he's caused a lot of it. So I think Eddie's done the right thing.
But Roy, do you not agree? Do you not agree with doing that though? That he's done it to the detrimental of the whole squad in regards to as I've said before, we've ended up with Ruddy on the bench when really it should be Pope on. We all agree Pope isn't injured. It should be Pope on the bench, and if anything happens to Ramsdale, then we're second choice keeper on the bench at that point. But at the minute, we've now ended up in a situation where we've ended up with an aged keeper on the bench, who I think would all be worried if he came on and sort of had to cover for Ramsdale.
I just don't know what the big deal is.
The big deal is that the bigger picture is that we have a manager that can't make a decision. It's not about Pope.
I disagree.
It's not about Ramsdale. But he sugar-coated it with an injury. He's had to lie over an injury, man.
Let's assume that Roy is correct, and I'm an arsehole for believing Pope's injured, and he's not really injured, which is what I've said all along.
I didn't say arsehole, I said daft.
But if that's the case, the bottom line is Eddie still made that decision.
No, because you're sugarcoating
made the decision
with an injury. You're sugarcoating it with an injury. It'd be the same thing.
What's the matter with sugarcoating it? What's the big deal?
Because you're lying to yourself. You're lying to the fans.
I'm not lying to myself.
That's the big deal. If I'm here, listen. Well, but that just you're confirming that he's a liar. If me and Roy, for example, fall out,
it doesn't bother me that he's a liar. In inverted commas, it doesn't bother me.
Well, listen. That just might speak of the type of person you are. I do worry if somebody I work with, somebody that's taking care of my beloved football club, is a liar and a scammer and a deceiver. I do have an issue with that. But we might have different standards, and we might be different type of people. That's fine.
I don't care. Now, I don't care how he achieves his results.
If I have a blowout or a bust up, whatever you want to call it over there, with Roy, when the cameras are off, and I treat him wrong, and I said, you know what, you're not going to be here no more. And then I come on here and says, Roy is not here no more. He's chosen to, to take another, go on to another podcast and do another thing. I'm lying. I'm hiding the truth from people. It's not the same as having the Bullocks that come on here and says, me and Roy fell out. He's not going to be on the show no more. And best luck to him. That's not the same.
But
it's not the same. You keep on looking at the mind. You keep looking at the small things.
What is the requirement to come out and say anything about it?
No, first of all, I didn't even say he should say anything about it. I said he doesn't need to lie though about it. He doesn't need to lie about it. If indeed it's a lie, I'm going to take the higher road and say I think he's telling the truth, because if he's lying,
Pope has in fact been for a scan, and he doesn't say that he's been for a scan. What's the point of that?
But when the whole point is with it, he could just have come out and says, "Look, I'm taking Pope out the squad for a game or two. I'm giving Ramsdale a chance.
Why?
I'm taking Pope out the game." Because why lie to the fans?
Why does he need to do that? He's made the decision. He manages the club and the team and the dressing room the way he wants to manage it.
But why come out and say why come out with a lie saying he's injured? Just come out
and
be honest.
How do you know he's not? We don't know.
Of course. It's too convenient. Why not just come out and say, "Look, I'm taking Pope out the team," even just to say I'm taking him out for this game. Ramsdale will be starting, and then we'll assess it from there.
And what I'm saying is that's a decision he's made. Especially if you were saying he's not injured, we know that he's made that decision, and it's the right decision, and it's got the right result. Yeah. What does it matter what he's come out and said, or if that's the way he wants to manage his dressing room, and that's the way he gets the results he's getting? What's wrong with that?
Why lie to her?
But you know when it would look massive, because as soon as I saw the lineup and saw Ramsdale, I'm like, wow, I can't believe Eddie Howe made that decision. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Which I was not used to it, but I'm like, man, that's pretty. That's he made the decision a little too late, to be honest, but he made the decision. Fair enough. And then 2 seconds later, Craig Hope is like, Pope is injured. I'm like, what the?
Proves it.
It's not, because it's not his decision, man. He's either sugarcoating it on an injury, or basically it wasn't his decision. He's actually injured, and he didn't want to. Because you know why I thought he wasn't going to take Pope out for Everton? Because of the way he spoke after the game against who did he play for? The Champions League game, whatever. Marseille. I didn't think he was going to take him out because of the way he spoke about him. He said, he saved us before. He was excusing them. So I'm like, he's not going to make that change. So as soon as I saw the lineup, I was shocked, and I thought, wow. He did this. He closed his nose and blew real hard, and his bullocks popped out. They dropped. And I'm like, man, they appeared.
You're not saying if Pope is injured, Eddie Howe has made no decision.
Exactly. That is the difference. That is exactly the difference.
So make your mind up. He is or he isn't. Whichever way that decision was made for the better.
But he did.
Why create a storm out of absolutely nothing?
But why?
Because you got to manage it. You got, first of all, Wolfie is going on about stop crying, we won the game. We're not talking about the match, man. We're talking about Eddie Howe's decision making, because that's been in question many times this season, last season, season before.
Did he make the right decision?
Anytime.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not the same if you had to make the decision. It's just like Byrne.
Right.
Byrne got sent off. No, hold on.
Hang on. You're getting it totally
wrong.
Hold
on, though.
If Pope is not injured, and Howe knows he's not injured, how did he not make the decision?
Because he dropped him from the squad rather than just say it.
It's the same thing.
Injured, rather than just say, look, he's not playing the day.
It's the same thing as
totally
the Byrne.
irrelevant. If you're saying he isn't injured...
No, it's not relevant, man.
Eddie Howe obviously knows he's not injured, so he still made the decision.
No, but why when? You're not getting it, man.
I've got no idea why you're making such a big deal about it.
And listen, first of all, you try to debate it, so we keep going on the conversation. So it's a snowball effect. I just mentioned something about Pope, and then you went on about it. Then I responded, and Boki got in.
I didn't. No, you went on about.
So we're going on about
lying.
it. But let me. Well, actually, I said I'm choosing to believe he didn't lie. But if he did, then because I don't want to believe that my manager is a scammer, a deceiver, and a liar. So I'm going to choose to believe him. But it does seem a bit dodgy.
Supposing that manager is the best manager in the world, do you still not want him because he's a scammer, deceiver, and a liar?
No. I don't want none of it. I don't want to work with nobody like that.
After week for your football club.
If you scan me
in the world now.
No, he wouldn't say that. I mean, I don't think he would say that. He wouldn't dare to say that crap. He knows
What's
that.
that?
The Eddie Howe's the best manager in the
Eddie
world.
Howe's the best manager in the world.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm asking Chris. Would he rather have the best manager in the world who happens to be a scammer and a liar, or would he rather not have the best manager in the world? Because I know which I would rather.
But just to put more into perspective, it's the same thing with the Burn situation. He got suspended. Everybody was he shouldn't be playing left back. He needs to take him out, and he gets suspended. He doesn't play the next game. He doesn't make the decision. The decision is made for him. So it's the same thing right now with the Pope situation. An injury is made. If it's true that he's injured, then that decision was made for him. It's the same thing as rest Gordon. He gets injured, he doesn't play. He didn't make that decision. No. Listen, you got to understand the point, though. Gordon got hurt because of the hip. People wanted him out.
I understand that you're trying to make a point out of nothing.
No. It's a point well taken. You want to ignore it because it goes against your agenda, but it's simple. The Gordon when he got sent hang on. Hurt.
Whoa. Hold on. What agenda am I ignoring it in favor of?
But you don't want to admit that Eddie Howe has struggles making tough decisions. It appears to.
No, he makes tough decisions.
No, he doesn't. What tough decisions he makes? How
he sugarcoats them is his business.
What tough decisions has Howe ever made?
Well, whatever decisions he's made, have won us a Carabao Cup, got us into two Champions Leagues, and got us away from relegation.
Don't go down the line of changing the subject.
I'm telling you what decisions he's made. Whichever decisions he's made ever have been the right ones.
What tough decision has Howe ever made?
Well, obviously, he's such a good manager that tough decisions are easy decisions for him.
But what easy tough decision has he ever made?
What decision? Because we're on total opinion now. What tough decisions has he not made that you think he should have made?
Dropping Burn from left back.
Burn playing left back all the time.
Dropping Burn from left back. Who are you going to play?
Dropping Gordon.
Dropping J7. Tonali over Longstaff over Tonali. We can go back a long time ago. So it's going on and on and on.
And when Longstaff was playing instead of Tonali, you had better stats and overqualified for the Champions League.
So you back him on that.
I'll back him on everything.
And Milan with Tonali went to the semifinals.
When I've answered question, what tough decisions has Howe ever made? What's the tough decision that he's made?
Define tough decision.
I think that answers it all. I don't need it.
Well, listen. You know what? I'm assuming you still believe that the fans watching are Newcastle United fans, right? Win, or you believe that they're Mackhams? You believe the Newcastle United?
What do you think?
I think they're Mac. I think they're proper Mac.
You think they're Mac?
I think they.
Well, I do.
No, I think they're proper Mac. So let's see what they had to say. Win is getting heated for no reason, man. He's trying to defend something. It's kind of weird anyway because defending Lion. That's kind of might need to think about this again. What says in recent no, of course I have. Not like that though. When I'm in my job, everybody's lying.
Well, hang on.
Small little white lies here. But when I get paid millions, when I get paid millions and I'm paid to be making managerial decisions, and as a matter of fact, it would have been in his benefit to go out and not even go out and say anything. Just don't say nothing. Just make the decision, and it would have been. Which is what he did. Everybody would have looked at him. No, he didn't. He sugarcoated it. You know what? In a recent show reviewing the performance against Everton, Gary. That was long. Yeah, we've done that. You guys didn't even delete him. Let me see. Okay, so let me. Mason says Howe said he was on the presser on Friday, then it all changed after that. Exactly. Gavin Fuller, I'm worried Howe is going to upset our young talent, Botman, Hall, Miley, Walter Mata, because he wants to force the older players like Wissa, Byrne, Linton, who are in the twilight of their careers, says Gavin Fuller. I think this comments more come about this
is
topic
more
that we
important. Laura Toon Wifey just became a member.
Cheers, Laura. Thank you very much for coming to
Laura,
the welcome to the Mad House. Welcome to the Mad House. I'm assuming you agree with the American Mag as a proper fan. I appreciate you very much indeed. And don't involve Laura. Don't involve yourself with convicts like the Mighty Win over there. Roy, you better be careful what you show us, mate. You better be careful what you show us. Don't involve yourself with convicts like the Mighty Win. Mickey, we got a super chat there before we go with some comments. You want to show that one?
Oh, get rid of
2 versus 1 as usual.
2v1 as usual. 3v1.
Listen, hey, Win will always be outnumbered. That's the point, though. He will, because his takes are, you know how they are. Mickey, nobody cares if Howe tells a little lie about the squad. That's what Mickey
Exactly.
Mag debate. It's insulting to us. So exactly. There you go. It's insulting to us because we think we're daft, man. We just believe whatever the manager says. Like, it's Ashington. Pope will be back with a mustache and a hat, claiming it's a new keeper. There you go. Tony says, so Pope is out till after Christmas. Is it still a lie? No, it wouldn't be a lie, of course, but we'll have to see. And Graham Nichols, none of us know if he's injured, but it wouldn't surprise me if he isn't. Still, back that Helsazar says, hold on, if he's not injured, then he would be on the bench. Pope was not on the bench against Everton. Well, I mean, that kind of would be obvious, wouldn't it? I mean, he wouldn't have done that. Graham Nickel, didn't Eddie decide not to put him on the bench, or did Pope take a huff and say he's not sitting on it? He's not sitting on. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the latter. Basically, Pope saying,
if I was to find that out, for example, that Pope
that's bad.
Had refused, exactly. If I'd found out that Pope refused to sit on the bench and Eddie didn't come out and tell us that, then I would have something to say about it.
When Pope lies, it's bad, but when Eddie Howe lies, it's okay. How man? I mean, I agree with you. It would be the same.
I'm talking about Eddie Howe not publicly stating that Nick Pope had refused to go on the bench, because that to me is like, say, get out of my club is what I say to any player.
So is that a really bad thing for a manager to do, Win?
For what?
What you've just said about Pope, I agree with you. That's a really bad thing for a manager to do.
It's a bad thing for Pope, for a player to do, to refuse to be on the bench.
But I'm saying it's a bad thing for the manager not to make that public.
If that's what's happened, absolutely.
So what, the Isaac situation, when exactly that happened, and Eddie Howe didn't make it public?
No. With Isaac, Isaac did last season. He did play.
No. Against Celtic, Isaac refused to play.
That's right, and he said he had an injury.
Eddie had an injury.
He had a hamstring.
Well, that was again. We're talking about Isaac. That's a completely different scenario when you're trying to hang on to a player who might still be with you.
No. That's a
I've got to go to the little boy's room.
Story. No bother.
Go to the little girl's room while we read these comments. Let me see here. Mark, because it's serendipity rather than an actual managerial decision. Exactly, man. Exactly. We're going to leave that one for Mighty Win to come back to. I just don't understand what's so hard. Again, I think that, not that, because Eddie Howe said it, that he doesn't pay attention to, doubters or social media. And that's fine. He doesn't have to look at comments or anything like that. But to the people that have doubts, or even his own fans that want to be reassured that this is a manager, if you're a happy clapper, you would want Eddie Howe to make a decision to where you can say, wow, my man, this is why he needs to stay, because he makes the tough decisions. He makes the right decision for the team, Newcastle first. But it seems like it's always sugar-coated, for feelings and for this and for that when it's not sustainable, because we're gonna find out. It's not it's not really something you can hide. Roy, although you agree with Win and Eddie Howe though that if he's not hurt, that he should be lying.
He's lying 100%. It's my gut feeling. He's done it before. He'll do it again. And there's one thing that Kevin Keegan told him once: don't ever lie to the fans.
Yeah,
there you go.
Love it.
He's done it. So
right, there you go.
But anyway, I still think he's protecting Pope.
Yeah,
but he's jeopardized the team by having.
Listen,
who was the goal? Who was the
Rudy?
Rudy. Oh.
Yeah, Rudy. And that's kind of where I'm getting at. It's not Pope. I mean, he gets either way. He's going to be benched, and he's not playing. So the potential for him to make mistakes is not there no more. But it's the bigger problem. We like to stay with the minute and just go with the win, basically, instead of looking at the real stuff, man, that makes a difference. You need your manager to make a decision, man. Joe Linton's still playing on the pitch. I still don't see much from what's from him, to be fair. And we need to see whether he can be. Is Eddie Howe going to make that decision? If he needs to drop him, drop him. We don't know. Queen of Heart has been amazing and gifted 5 gifted memberships. Queenie, we sure do love you and appreciate you for that. Davey has gotten a membership. AAT Toon, that looks like Connor there. Thank you very much, appreciate it. Pond Mags received a membership. Pond Mags not a member. What the heck? Toon Steele and James Kirby, appreciate all of you and thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Queenie.
For that.
There's a lot of people in the chat. There's a lot of people in the chat. Obviously trying to go on Win's side. Don't forget you can call in and put your point across to her.
Yeah, you can. You can. Come on now. Yeah. And we want to know from fans. We want to know your opinion. We want to know what you have to say, no matter what side of the fence you sit in. Phone in right now, free of charge, 0191-916-8864. Please do so. Wissa there with the super chat as well. Oh, no, it's not. He's behind you. Wissa and Win versus 3. There you go. Says Wissa. And so appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it for the super chat. But look, man, I'm looking at the bigger picture. Let's finish those comments. Hey, Lee, Chris is grateful wearing red, man. I mean, it's Christmas, man. If you really think about, I don't ever think about the Maccas, man. I don't even think about them, right? I don't even give them the time of the day, other than when we're gonna play. I just don't want to get beaten by them because we'll never hear the end of it. That's really my only concern at the moment. But let's finish these comments before we move on to another. I didn't think we were going to argue about this, but Win wants to argue over everything. That's fine. Mark is telling you when. Mark is telling you when because it's serendipity rather than an actual managerial decision. It's simple, man. It's spot on, man. Spot on. You don't need to lie to us, man. Irish says Roy's sitting there thinking, I need to drink
if it is, well, he's saying serendipity, which would imply that it's a true injury. So whether you agree with that or not, either way, if Howe knows he's not injured and he's still playing Ramsdale instead of him, then it's a decision. What the hell difference does it make what he says to anybody?
That he doesn't have the personality to tell the fans. Or not even tell them, just do it.
Yep. What happens if Ramsdale, as I keep saying, what happens if Ramsdale got sent off in the first 5 minutes? We end up with Ruddy on the team. Pope's not injured. But to lie to the fans, he'd been to cover his arse. Eddie's basically took him out of the squad. So that's the big issue to me. There's no need to lie. There's absolutely no need to lie to the fans.
He's there to make decisions.
There's no need to make a big deal about it.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, I listen. I apologize. It's a personal decision. I don't like being lied to, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to.
There you go.
Interrupt. I don't like being lied to. I don't like being scammed. I don't like being robbed. I don't like being deceived. I don't like being conned. I don't like that. So I call it out when I see it. You seem to live another way, so that's fine. Could you imagine a fan base for people like Chris? We have a few Champions Leagues. We have a couple Premier Leagues. We got to add some standards, man. Standards to the fan base. Everyone on the plane lies for the greater good. Chris, you can't possibly tell me you haven't lied to protect your kids or loved ones. Yeah, small little white lies, man. What are you on about? It's not the same as lying to millions of fans about a job that you're doing. It's not the same, man. It's not the same whatsoever. Kim says, why are people defending lying? Well, again, it's just different type of people, you know. Just people just like that. You know, that's the way they live. That's the way they live. Northumbrian says, when a lie is a lie, I'm afraid. Double standards from St. Edward. You know, that part where you said, you show your true colors when you said, you know, if Pope lied, then that would be an issue. But if Eddie Howe lies, that's not an issue. Come on, man. The double standards are criminal, man. Super chat there from Irish Toon. The Pope Gate. Reported growing injuries, should silent from a week to several months. So let's see how long. Maybe it's Christmas. 9-game run time again. Let's talk about the game tomorrow. Newcastle United are going to face Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow. Game that you will be able to hear here on NUFC Talk live with Gary, the Jordy Yum Yum's commentary and the reaction of War Bogey in there as well. And so actually, let me give you an update on the coverage. We got live match coverage from beginning to end before even the action starts with the Toon Twins at, I believe, 5:45 p.m. kickoff. They're going to be on for an hour and a half, building up the game, giving you their reactions on the Everton game and how it transitions into tomorrow's game against Spurs. And then an hour before kickoff, right then, same stream, don't have to go anywhere else, Gary and Boki giving you the live match commentary. And after that, me and Win will come on and do the instant match reaction. I believe Andy Bell and DX are coming in for that one. And also, we're going to open up the phone line so people can call in and have their say. So we got loan coverage tomorrow of Newcastle Tottenham. Premier League, so that means points. And points are as valuable as gold.
What do points make? You don't have a clue in America.
No, I don't. But we still need points. You know, the thing is, you know,
famous TV catchphrase over here. What do points make? Prizes. Prove that we're wangers.
Anyway, so exactly. Think it was if Howe lied, he will get coal in his stocking. Fact. There you go. Exactly. We tell a little. You talking about you haven't lied to little kids, but little kids get told they're going to get coal in their stocking. We're going to have to do the same thing with Howe, so he learns he's not supposed to lie to fans. And as Hoof It, Roy Caviani said,
love it.
What did Kevin said?
Love it.
Come on, man. What did Kevin?
Love it.
No, fool.
Love
what
it.
did he say as far as not lying to the fans, man?
Oh,
Yeah,
the
he
one
told-
thing you
he
never
told-
do is lie to the fans.
Tonali.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's poor. That's really poor from him.
Come on, man. You got a compliment, man. You got.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. He is
Yeah.
falling asleep over there, man.
Kevin
Anyway.
told him never ever lie to the fans.
Never, man. Never. Round Turbo, easy 5-0 win tomorrow. I think we're going to win 3-0.
I hope so.
I think we're going to win 3-0. And, I mean, that's very confident, to be fair. But I do think that was Spurs.
Bogey, you need to give up on the conspiracy theories. You don't like how we get it, but don't turn everything to have a pop at him. Managers are often economical with the truth at press conferences.
Can I ask you, Win,
Yep.
when is Pep, Ferguson, the top class managers, when have they been scared to come out and just say, look, I'm dropping this player?
No idea.
I don't even think you, again, I don't even think you have to
neither
say
of
that.
you, by the way.
Again,
Sorry?
I don't even.
I don't know, and neither do you.
Well, I do, because I know that they would just
Because
do.
they either haven't told you, or they've told you something different that you've believed.
No. Exactly. Especially with something so blatantly obvious. I mean, look, there are white lies all the time. I mean, we all know that how, doesn't say everything really he wants to say, especially about tactics and all that. We know that. But this is like a child would see this, man. It's comical. It is. Irish says, imagine if Pope starts tomorrow, channel nuclear. Oh, my God.
No way.
You're out your mind, man.
Oh, Man,
Yeah, imagine
Roy will-
imagine if imagine Ramsdale gets injured in training tomorrow or in the morning, and
then Pope has to play.
Eddie's gonna come. Oh, a miracle happened. He's back.
No, he's gonna say Ramsdale got injured in training, and nobody's gonna believe him.
No.
And they're
But
gonna
listen,
they're gonna think he's put Pope back because he's his favourite.
no. But listen,
No, but what
you
if,
know what?
what if Ramsdale actually does get injured? Then he brings him back. Pope back.
So you know for an absolute fact that Pope hasn't got injured.
Yeah, my gut feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, gut feeling, exactly. It's my gut feeling as well.
I'm really wrong. So I think it's too much of a coincidence that.
But it's we
Maybe
talking
he got
about
injured when he did
lying.
that daft run.
Look, hey, listen, we're
Trying to
talking
get the
about
ball.
lying, and I think it's a big deal for the manager not to have the personality to. And I keep saying personality, but that's the only word I can find that's clean to make a change, right? That's a big deal, to be honest. But we keep going. What's the crazy part about it?
Exactly, Hells.
You know what's great? Thank you, House. You know what's crazy about it is.
Can I just say to Hells, he hasn't seen the bottom of me jumper?
Oh, maybe we don't want to see it. Get closer.
Is that the Grinch?
It's disappearing. Oh,
Gone.
what's
The
that?
Grinch.
Yeah, it is the Grinch.
That's the
There you go.
Grinch.
But you know what's crazy about it is that this is true. Say if this is true and Pope was hurt and now he feels good. Now Pope comes back into the team. That's what's going to go be nuclear about it. Make us go nuts.
So what you would have then is the conversation about Howe's, managerial, team selection decisions.
So why? That conversation started a long time ago. You were just joining the conversation.
No, but what I'm saying is then that it would be that conversation.
No, it would be more on top of that, like doubling down on that conversation. That it's clear
it would be everybody who disagrees with these selections.
Yeah.
Letting it be known that they disagreed with these selections, and I would be one of them.
But okay. For 2 minutes, and then you're going to be saying that everybody is a bedwetter and not proper fans.
And then it would depend on the result.
Why would it depend on the result? Why would it depend on the result? It could be an own goal by Tottenham's goalkeeper, and then the result changes. No, you got to have some more, put a little more thought process into it, man. You can't just be just about the result. Because winning on a free kick by Tonali
is about results.
But to actually achieve what we want, Champions League all the time, winning a cup here and there, you can't do that on luck.
Getting the results
can't do that
get
on
us
luck.
into Champions League,
but you can't. You can't do that on luck. You can't do that by just hoping that if Tonali scores a great free kick, doesn't excuse.
I agree. You can't do it on luck. And the fact that we've done it means that they were relying on his skill.
Yeah, no, and the players, a lot of them are
what was I saying? How dare you,
bad
dad from Baghdad? Santa is real.
Oh, of course he is. But tomorrow's game against Tottenham, it's an important game. As much as, again, that's why the situation we're in doesn't disappear overnight. You can beat Everton 20-0. It only gives you 3 points. Unfortunately, we're in a situation where we're gasping for air equals points. Therefore, you have to go on a good 5-game winning run to be able to kind of situate yourself in a good fighting chance. And can we do that? I mean, you got Burnley coming up, so we got a couple of easy hunts. A couple of fish in the barrel sessions. So we got Burnley though. Who else we got? We got Tottenham. I think I say we're going to win 3-0, but
Spurs.
You never know.
Mackhams.
And the Mackham, and so actually only fish in the barrel is Burnley really, because we got the Mackhams and we got as you guys said, Chelsea coming up. So it's not going to be easy games at all, and that's why if you think about it, we kind of need points tomorrow again. We're playing at home. We always beat Tottenham. So you see, it's not rosy and honky dory. We have to get the points. So as much as it was a great win against Everton, you got to get over it, man. You got to get over it quickly.
Yeah, that's finished now.
I wonder what the lineup would be though. I mean, we can have a conversation about Pope all we want. We actually had that for an hour already. But we know that Ramsdale needs to be playing. Whether that's not going to happen or not, we'll have to see. Irish has a super chat there. Did we get that?
Yep.
Did you even read it?
We're red.
You gotta read it, man.
We're red. Holy water. Satan, get out of this body.
That's right, man. That guy definitely needs some. You know, we went to the Newcastle Cathedral one time. He started sweating, cold chills. Mighty Win, we need to soak you in. We had to dunk you in and leave you there for a second, man.
Chris, you do look like you're about to choose the new pope. I've got to say that. I think that's what he's saying.
Oh yeah, the conclave, baby. The conclave. That's right, baby.
Mickey Muncher is saying, if
Pope
it
Leo
winds these up, I hope Eddie starts lying in every presser as long as we win.
That's right. As long as you're watching, Mickey,
yeah, same here.
Hey man, shout out to Pope Leo making the Vatican great again. Americans, man, we're gonna make it. We're gonna sort it out. No worries. So tomorrow, Tottenham guys, because Tottenham 12 right now, and they're talking about sacking a manager, as you guys mentioned earlier on. But Newcastle fans are not proper fans standards. If they call that. Ooh,
different standards.
Prove that we're wangers.
Damn, what? Hey, listen,
it's really serving Tottenham well, isn't it? Changing all the managers.
No, but because they've gone to the other end, and just because you
like hiring Mourinho and Conte and
but you keep on going about those. I heard you earlier on. I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up because I was going to annihilate you, flatten you with like a
come on, give me your best shot, son.
Because Tottenham are numpties, man. They fired Mourinho when he got him to a final. I would assume we wouldn't do that. That stupid of a mistake. Conte, they just need, we need a little more time. What other top manager they got? None of them. Pochettino fell out with them people, and he left. He got him to a Champions League final. I wish we could do that. So those proper managers did what they could. Spurs made numpty decisions. Spurs, Levy, and the other bald guy. They all made numpty decisions, man. The actual owner. But I would assume we wouldn't do that, right? And again, I'm not saying Eddie Howe. I think Eddie can still, he did what he had to do over the weekend. Certainly did. Was going to come on.
I was going to phone in, but I'm not well. I'm saving it up.
I hope you get
phone in, folks. That's right, Warren. Thank you, mate.
Warren.
Phone in now. Have your say. 0191-916-8864. Have your call and have your say. And so they are 12th. We're 13th. Really didn't move much, even after the nice Everton win. But
we did.
So, no, man, we were 14. We went up.
Not an actual position, but we're now only 4 points off Champions League.
Okay.
As opposed to being 6 points off Champions League.
You need to talk. You need to go talk to homeless people, man. They will love you.
No, I think
telling
it's
them something positive about their lives. My goodness, man. But White Smoke, welcome new Pope. Christmas Mario. There you go. Hey, man. You have a Pope like me, man.
Pope like?
Nah, man. What's the matter with you? We just got one.
Ramsdale's the new Pope.
Hey.
Very good.
That's a good pun. That's a good pun.
That's that's an actual pun, Chris. Huh?
The Macam still 6, so we need to get points against Tottenham, folks. What do you see? Anyhow, when he was asked earlier in the presser about keeping kind of the same lineup and giving it time, I would say that he kind of agree with that. I mean, he's not going to tell you 100%, but so do you guys expect the same lineup? I mean, it's really a quick turnaround though. I mean, 2 days really. So. Walter Mata, is he going to play? I would.
Yeah,
he's got to.
No, you can't not play him.
Yeah, he needs to play. He's the best center forward, one of the best in the league.
He's the only center forward we've got.
No, but even with Wissa, with Callum Wilson, and even with Isak, if you think about it, in the percentages in the games that they played, he's better than all of them. You could actually say probably below Isak as far as comparing him with Newcastle. But you know, I mean, come on, man. Walter Might is better than all of them, so he should be starting, even if Wissa is 100%. But Eddie Howe benched him against Olympique Marseille. He benched. It was the same scenario. We played Tuesday after playing Saturday. Same scenario. He rested him. So don't act like if I'm crazy.
To be fair though, Chris, with Wissa, if Eddie has held him back before the AFCON to see he's fit, has Eddie played a bit of a blinder by being able to have him over the Christmas period? You know, we're quick enough to call Eddie out for something.
By not telling all the truth.
Sorry?
So Eddie's played a blinder by not telling all the truth to everybody.
By not picking him. He's never said he's not fit. He's always said that he's ready.
No, he has always said he's not
ready
fit.
to play.
Hey, Win. There you go. Perfect example. I want Eddie Howe to do that. Make a decision and not lie though. He didn't come out and say Wissa's hurt, man. He won't be back until after.
He has been saying Wissa's hurt all the time.
No.
He hasn't.
Talking about the deadline.
Training.
Yeah. The deadline. They're not sure about the deadline. They're not.
Talk
and you can say, well,
selective memory.
No. It's not selective memory. You came out and said nobody asked you about Pope, or you didn't have to say anything. He lied, and he said, "Well, people saying he lied." He said about the injury conveniently.
Now
get real,
Chris. Quick turnaround, no excuses. Now get real.
I'm just saying, man.
So you're saying it's okay for him to lie about Wissa, but not about Pope.
But he hasn't lied about Wissa.
He hasn't said anything.
No, he
said talking about the deadline moving.
Yeah,
exactly. We don't know when he's going to be ready.
Boogie, you have just not 2 minutes ago said if Eddie's known all along that Wissa, for example,
but you're not
could
trying
be
to
fit
lie to fans,
tomorrow.
Man.
But he hasn't lied to fans and said that he's still injured. He said that he's in
Every
training.
single press conference, when asked about Wissa, he said he's
he didn't say he's still
5
injured.
weeks away, 3 weeks away, 7 weeks away.
But
he's on grass, but he's not training with the first team.
Yeah, that's not lying. That's he's not saying that he'll be back next week, and he isn't. So it's different, man.
No.
Different.
What I'm saying is now with Congo having not included Wissa in the squad, if Wissa, for example, is on the bench tomorrow night, when Congo have now said he's not in the squad, and he's on the bench tomorrow night, that means he's been lying through his teeth, and I say good on him.
But he hasn't been lying.
Wow.
Lying through his teeth. He said that he's on his way back and he's got dates in mind. So he's not lied. The way that he's lied is saying that Pope's injured, so he could drop him.
He was dropped. If he's not injured, and Eddie Howe knows he's not injured, he still dropped him.
Because he's injured. That's the problem. Anyway, let's get into the lineup. So, you're never gonna win the argument, man. This guy's as stubborn as he's as stubborn as a mule, man. So Malik Chiao got burned there. Is Botman gonna play? Is Shearer gonna play? What's gonna be the starting? That's a good. Would you guys keep
Botman's injured?
Would you guys keep the same lineup as the one at Everton?
One change for me.
I would keep the same back five, certainly.
Yeah, 100%.
Back five? What do you mean back
Well,
five?
back five. It was back four. Oh, you mean with the keeper?
With Ramsdale?
Four. Yeah.
Well, Pope's injured,
so there is doubt that Pope might be in. Man, you prove you. Oh my God, man, you are.
I've just said I would keep the same back five.
I'll do one change only. One change.
But if
what would your change be? Chef or Burn?
No, my change will be Tonali for Joe Linton.
Right, that's midfield.
So Tonali needs to come in.
Miley starts. Now I'll be shocked if Miley's not there after what he did.
Yeah, well, we were saying we would rest Bruno as well.
No. Bruno, we need Bruno every game.
No, we don't, man.
I'll dress Bruno in a cup game against Fulham or something.
Bruno is as inconsistent as ever.
Yeah, but he's
one
tank.
good game, one bad game.
He's
what tank? Tank of what, man?
What game? It was rested against Bournemouth away, I think. That was the only time.
Yeah, well, that's just a number, man. Let's see how many plays he's played bad. He's so inconsistent. One good game, one bad game.
You can't rest Bruno against Spurs.
Well, you certainly can't rest Tonali.
You can rest Bruno against Burnley. Or keep him on the bench. But against Spurs, when he fired up, best 11.
Tony says only one change. Pope for Ramsdale is logical. Exactly, man. That's the most logical thing ever.
That'd be brilliant.
But that is the most logical thing ever. You know why? If indeed he's feeling well again, then Eddie Howe will have to do that. Plain and simple. He will have to put, because of how he spoke about him, and then he came out and said that it was an injury. So that's the most logical move, actually, that's bound to happen. At some point, to be honest, because the injury might still linger until the weekend, and therefore he plays against, Burnley or whatever. But I'm just thinking, man.
Well, by the way, I've just got a private message here saying Newcastle at home against Arsenal in May 7th, 2023. Isak and Wilson both started.
Yeah, but I think Isak was on the left.
Yeah, I think
Gordon and Murphy on. We're Gordon and Murphy on.
Is that the message from Irish? Is that from Irish?
I don't know. I haven't got his name. I've just got the number.
Okay, well, it is. No, don't say the number, man. Lord have mercy.
No, all I was going to say, it's a US number, so it could well be Irish.
Okay, it is Irish. May 7th, 23, yeah. Newcastle's home again, yeah. That's when both play. Only very limited games, man. He never did that, He did
because they were never both fit.
No, man. He did it against
we lost 2-0,
Yeah, we lost that.
He did it against Man U too. He brought him in against Man U too.
To be fair to Eddie himself, he actually turned around and says two up front isn't my sort of style.
He's done that. He said that.
He said himself.
Yeah. He said 4-3-3.
Yeah, he said 4-3-3 is his style.
So
two up front isn't his style.
Stop assuming, man.
Warren saying that's how Bruce just to prove a point.
Yeah, Eddie's a 4-3-3, man. He's not going to change it.
And he's not going to change it, man.
It doesn't matter how many times we do the pre-match thing and formations and stuff. It's always 4-3-3.
So yeah, he did say earlier.
I don't know whether this is Andy Howe, but he's saying managers have always said players have had mysterious injuries when leaving them out. Absolutely.
Yeah, not about the. Yes, you can do that when people don't, but not after a cock up, and then immediately after he was fine, and then the day before the match, all of a sudden, hey, come on, man, we're not stupid, man, we're not daft, man. Come on, man.
Right. So let's narrow this down. What you are
no, it's over anyway.
What you're complaining about is Eddie not hanging Pope out to dry and saying you dropped because of that.
I told you, man. I told you many times. That's not what I want. I want the manager to just make a decision and stop worrying about feelings. Stop worrying about what you got to think or I got to think.
Well, that's what he's done. He's made a decision.
No, he didn't, because by saying it's an injury, it's sugarcoating it, and he's not making a decision. The injury made a decision for him. Therefore, he doesn't have what it takes to make a simple decision, which is more worrying. What Andy's saying
is managers have always said players have had mysterious illnesses to cover the fact that they're being...
So name one win. Who's ever said that?
Listen, I'm sure it's happened before.
But it happens all the time.
So if it happens all the time, name a manager that's done it.
I'm sure it's happened before.
I don't listen to every other team's press conferences.
The point is, I'm sure managers have done it before, subtly, astutely, but not this. If he's trying to lie, if he's going to do that for a job, lying, he's going to be jobless, man. Because this the worst.
The one thing you can't do is
you can
let
ever
it
tell.
lie.
Well. Certainly not.
You wouldn't let it lie, would you?
You actually brought that up. I'm trying to talk about the game, but you brought that up. So now you're talking about making changes in midfield. Tonali needs to play. Obviously, he's going to play most games. He probably needed to be rested, but Tonali's going to be playing most games. Listen again.
I'm just going to say this because it was Punt Marks. Where is it? Punt Marks was saying, "Hi guys, I've been listening only while you've been doing stuff. Thank you so kindly for the gift membership. Sorry, I missed who it was. It was Queen of Hearts, Punt Marks, who gifted you the membership."
Yeah, she did. Sure did. So, Tonali's going to play. Miley, you can say he can play as well. I mean, no big deal. The thing is, unfortunately, J7 doesn't add much. And it's unfortunate, but, that's another tough decision that he's going to have to make, because... But, you can have him with Lewis Miley as well. I mean, I guess...
You might need him for the muscle against Kudus.
And he's notably... He's done that with Spurs. He's knackered him. Flipped them over many times.
To be fair though, Chris, does he need to make a decision, or is J7 all of a sudden injured?
There you go. Hey, the same thing with Burn. Burn needs to come out. Burn suspend. Burn tough. Don't even worry, boss. I got this one. Just knackered the winger, and it's he gets subbed on his own. It's Gordon. He needs to be benched. Oh, my hip hurts. It hurts. Yeah, bench, knee bar.
His hair hurts.
His hair
again. Does it matter?
Knackering, by the way.
He dropped him.
Yeah, it does matter.
If that's the case, he dropped him.
Because if he had just said again, I hope we can let this rest, man, because we got to talk about the game. If he had said nothing and just Ramsdale starting lineup, everybody, Ramsdale coming in, like my natural reaction was to be amazed and happy about it. That Eddie Howe was really
just be that.
No. That he has the personality, he has the cojones to get it done instead of an injury. Okay.
You need to translate what kahunas mean.
It means
not on there.
Ding dong.
Oh, you gotta say that. Sorry.
No, not that one. Not either. Not the ding.
Toon Assassin wearing red and white. Chris and Tom, the American Mackhams.
Hey, that's actually interesting. How that? There you go. Hey, man. I don't pay attention to them people, man. I'm telling you, I don't pay attention to them. But like Walter there, Harvey Barnes. But the thing is that we're trying to. So, are we saying that Eddie Howe is going to start the same team more or less after 2 days of rest? He didn't do that against Marseille, man. What makes us say that he's going to do it now?
We've got 4 days or 5 days after.
If he does,
I'll fully support him.
I'll fully support Eddie Howe I'd fully support Eddie Howe if he changes the team again. If he's going to start rotating players, that shows that he's got confidence in himself, and he's going to start to sort of to use the squad players. So it's a good thing if he starts doing it.
I agree with you, but you can't rotate important players like that, man.
Bookie the bully always sniping at will. At win, jail him.
It's always been a mistake to me to bench Voltemara. From the start, I've been saying it. I've been saying benching Voltemara against Barcelona was a mistake. I maintained that
was bad,
he shouldn't be benched. It was a mistake against Lyon. Sorry, not Lyon, Marseille. So he shouldn't be benched whatsoever. He's a striker. Let him have it, man. He'll score goals. And
what was I saying? Like I said, bad dad. One versus Bookie. Is that what it is? Or Ives? One v Bookie. Saving all my kisses for you.
I'm just waiting for me ticket, Wissa. I can't wait.
There you go. Hey, by the way, I like people were criticizing Elanga against Everton. I thought he had a great game. Great game. I mean, he had numpty plays
I didn't
here.
think he had a great game, but he had his best game, I think, for the Toon. Maybe Barcelona.
He's got to stay in the team now just to give him some confidence in the build.
Exactly.
And me and Win agree on that, strangely.
Well, I mean, I think Murphy will come back and play, though.
Well, I hope not. I'll keep Murphy for Burnley. It's an easier game.
Yeah, but I mean, Murphy hasn't been.
Murphy's been good against Spurs, though, last couple of years.
Oh my God, he's the numpty stats, man. Like what the? Good against Spurs.
I'm telling you.
No, I think Murphy.
Great
I think
game.
Murphy's better against teams that play low block than Elanga. Elanga needs space, so we'll get space with the Spurs. But Burnley going to sit back with like 6 different defenders. So Murphy, yeah, I'll go Murphy against Burnley. Eddie needs to work both games.
He does.
So,
You're right, mate.
Yeah. So maybe
I
even
agree, but I think
Miley,
out of the
maybe
two,
drop
Spurs
Miley
is
on
obviously the harder game of the two. So you should be putting your your inverted commas strongest team out against Spurs rather than Burnley.
I tell you one thing: if he puts Gordon up front, I'll quite happily say that is him gone for me. If he does, and either of them going puts Gordon up front, he's gone completely.
Well, he did. He did when he subbed.
He did Marseille.
Walter No, when he subbed Walter Mardov, I was telling the lads, I bet it was Gordon who's going to come in as a centre forward.
I mean,
only for a couple of minutes, but
he just kept doing that. I don't understand, to be honest. I mean, what's it going to take for him to realize? I mean, Gordon missed a chance against Marseille that I mean, he's scared to shoot. And if you got a striker that's scared to shoot, then you can't be a striker. It's that simple. So,
well, Bonds missed 2 against Everton.
Nah, here we go, bro. The agenda is clear, man. You can see it.
And one against
City. You can see it. You can see it, man. It's unbelievable, this, man. You know.
Why do you pick up on our players' failures? Why don't you just accept the fact that sometimes players miss chances, but you'd rather he was there to try them? You know, you're always trying to play players off against each other.
I'm just saying that Chris is specifically saying that Gordon missed a chance against Marseille. That's what strikers do. They miss chances.
Are you kidding me, Wayne? He's missed every chance. What are you on about, man?
As a number 9.
When was
you really want to argue this?
When was the last time he scored an open play?
Feb, wasn't it? Or January?
Was, against...
I don't know. I don't think I was born.
Benfica?
No. We're not going to count the easy Champions League games.
Oh, easy Champions League games, I really.
Yeah, well, the 3 games we won were piss easy. Yeah. Sorry for the language.
Oh, yeah. So Barnes needs to start.
Barnes needs to start. If you want an argument, pick a different subject. I agree. Barnes has done enough to keep his place.
Turn to the left to prove your point. When was the last time Gordon scored in the Premier League?
Oh, in the Premier League.
Premier League.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's February, January.
When's the last time? Games? When's the last time he scored playing centre forward? You won't even find the Champions League.
That's a zero.
EFL Cup, the Gateshead Cup, and the Northeast Cup. He never scored as a 9. And come on, man. I don't know. I seriously don't understand this argument.
Even against Barcelona, he scored in that game. He started as a number 9. When he moved to the left, he scored from a Murphy ball.
And it was a tap in, of course.
It was a tap in, kind of.
Take it for a worky. Well, that up to Santa. I won't lie, says Watson. There you go. Thank you, Watson. Appreciate it, man.
19 without a goal.
I mean, playing as a center forward, man. How man?
No, but a lot of those, most of those were playing on the left wing.
No, exactly. I think a lot.
Most of those, all of them.
No, it doesn't matter. That's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Up front,
I'm not disputing that for a minute.
But you argue the point that Gordon is also missed just like Barnes, so therefore you're trying to make it seem like they're on the same level, and they're nowhere near each other, man.
Because you made the point of saying that it's ridiculous that Gordon come back in because he missed a goal against Marseille. And I'm saying strikers miss goals.
Why don't you like Barnes?
This is unbelievable, this man.
Why don't you like Barnes?
He
doesn't
like proper players.
We
read down.
Well, that's up to Santa, I won't lie.
Listen, he has an issue with proper players. You ever realize that? proper good footballers, he has a problem against. He argue against Tonali, against Longstaff. He argues against possibly Botman over Byrne, or Byrne just playing there wherever as a goalkeeper. That's fine. Wherever Byrne plays, he does a great job according to him. Gordon, he hates Barnes. And Gordon runs around, and that's great for the team according to him. He hates proper footballers. He doesn't like Voltemada because he's not a tap-in merchant. He hates these guys.
Tony T in the knowing tree. Tony T in the knowing tree.
Man.
Thank you for your super chat. Get Chris out. I spoke to him once. Beast. I assume that's Bonds.
Appreciate it, man. But again, we're trying to say that the same lineup needs to start. He's going to rotate.
Yeah.
He's not going to keep the same lineup.
Great point, Cuff, O2. If you're accusing Wynn of picking up on players' faults, then why have we spent the past hour talking about a possible lie with no actual evidence instead of talking about a great 4-1 away win? Quite right.
Because he wasn't even a good lie, so we can think, oh, man, listen, Pope is injured. It's a numpty lie. A kindergartner would see that, man. He's trying. It almost feels like he's trying to take the pee out of fans, man. With that lie. That's why we're going on about it. But anyway, I'm trying to drop it, to be honest. You guys keep going back to it. I think
it. Rant Barnes 7, Gordon 4 goals this season. Win, Jill.
Irish, you had enough characters left there to free me as well.
Hey, there you go, man. But I'm listen. You guys are not biting this bait, man. He's not gonna make changes.
If Gordon
he's gonna make changes.
If Gordon is fit tomorrow, he still won't play. There you go.
Yeah, hope so.
Okay, well I don't believe you no more because you've told me that before about Ramsdale.
For example, if he's on the bench, that proves he's more or less fit. So if Gordon starts, it'll be on the bench.
Well, he should be fit. That's not even a discussion.
Well, no, he's had this hip injury.
But I feel like he's going to use. That's a week, 2 weeks ago, man. Now he's fit against Marseille. He was fit in the weekend. He's fit now, so that's old news. I do believe that he's fit, and Voltemada should still play. But what would you do?
Hang on.
What? In fact, what? What are you trying to argue now, man? That Gordon is injured.
You just continue.
Okay. What would you do if Gordon plays at center forward again, or even play at all? Because I don't even think he fits a left back no more. Sorry, left wing.
Start tomorrow.
I don't see any way back into the team for Gordon over the next few weeks. I think he's not given anything to the team.
Yep. He certainly he's not doing much there. I think Murphy would play though, to be honest with you. As far as that's concerned, I think Voltemada should play.
See, Murphy was one of the bad ones as well against Marseille. No one pointed
but he was a right back though.
Well, right wing back kind of.
Yeah. And that went bad. I mean, he didn't put one good pass ever.
Well, that's the thing. Doesn't matter where you are on the pitch. If you can't pass a 10-yard ball or 5 yards ball, it doesn't matter where you're standing.
Critical thinking, 100%. Wow, get in, Roy. I mean, it just
proves that we're wangers.
Look, man, it's easy, man. But that's a great critical thinking. It's just a simple pass from here to there. It doesn't matter where you're at on the pitch. He didn't do that. But to be fair, I don't know that he's done too bad to lose his spot as a right wing though, because those crosses are still good.
Yeah, well, hang on, there's the proof of the pudding, man. I forgot. He came on Saturday, man. Anthony Gordon started on the bench on Saturday.
Yeah,
we knew that, Wayne. What the?
He came on in the last minute, 89th or 88th minute or something.
90th minute, yeah.
I mean, that was shambolic.
So that just proves that he drops Gordon.
When you were
one game, bro.
You were watching the match. How the hell didn't you know that he hadn't stopped?
But Gordon is not part of the how.
It was the 90th minute. It was all done and dusted.
Lord have mercy,
Chris,
man.
where did you find Win? Was he at a bus stop or something?
He just showed up, man. He literally just showed up.
I was on the step. I was a stepchild.
He literally just showed up.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
I can still go to the first ever show that Win came in here and he cursed us forever, man. Man, the first time it was a fan forum. He just hit the link and joined like a wanga. And I'm telling you, I made him a star, man. Look at him now compared to that video. He looked like a homeless person. It looked like he was recording from his phone. Weak as you know what. Now you go around the tune, people recognize you.
And
do people recognize you, yes or no?
Look at the subs we've got now compared to what we had then, by the way. When everybody was fed up with that thick American.
When you're gonna run the tune, do people recognize you? Yes or no, man?
Occasionally.
Yes.
What did they say to you?
I happened to meet in the back page as well.
What they say to him, Chris, I've been out with him. I've been out with Win a couple of times in town. What they say to Win is, Win, you're wrong.
Exactly. So now that we may Win a star, even Roy Caviani. Tell what happened with the back pages, man. What did they tell you?
I walked in and one of the lads, one of the guys working there is like, I recognize you on NUFC Talk TV. I'm like, hey, thank you.
Chris,
do you need me to autograph?
We're going to get that. You know what I mean? So we listen, but Roy deserves to be a star, to be fair, because he's a critical thinker.
No, he deserves to go to jail, according to Wissa.
Huh? Why?
Oh, man, now we're going to have another job. Win has done now, but come on here and argue nonsense, and there you got it. The whole lot is in jail.
Tony released me before. Tony released.
Oh, did he release you? Oh, he released you. Okay, then we're gonna take.
Chris, you might as well put yourself in jail as well, just for being a twat.
Let me tell you something. All of you in jail when Boki just got out and I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Because the people appreciate and they know the American Mag, man. The people know the American Mag is reet. So there you go. But listen, you better expect changes tomorrow. So I'm just trying to let you save your cholesterol levels and save your. Thank you very much. Celebrating Joe Linton. He wants to be put in jail. Well, you know what? He's celebrating membership. You know, I spoke too soon. But there you go. I'm telling you, man, there's going to be changes tomorrow. And against Tottenham at home.
Where do you think the changes are going to be?
I think, at the back. I think Sharp. Actually.
Well, you've been beaten 2-0.
Thank you very much now. Are you from the proper Ireland, or you must be from Republic?
Proper Ireland, Euros.
Yeah. No, you must be from. Oh no, that's not the proper. The proper is with us in the UK, man. That's why. That's why you hate the American Mag. That's why you hate the American Mag, man. So, but anyway, I think there's going to be changes with the left back and right back. He's not going to play them back to back. I don't think.
No, I think it'll be the same. But I think I've got a feeling he will start Gordon. Because Gordon will keep Pedro Porro quiet. But
I think Gordon will play center forward.
Oh no! It'll be Voldemort. There's playing Voldemort is suicide. Voldemort will start at least and play 60 minutes at least.
No, listen. I'm telling you, man, I don't agree with it, but I know we gotta come on, man. We know how this guy works, man. Well, why are we acting surprised now?
But just incidentally, it's noticeable that since when did Gordon stop scoring goals and assists?
When Lewis Hall got
injured,
back end of last season, exactly.
So that's why I think he might play tomorrow. Well, there's another reason why Gordon's been shit, because he had to build Dan Burn out half of the time.
My schooner.
And if you look at the Brighton. Well, I'm in prison anyway. Watch the Brighton goal, West Ham, and a few of the other games, and then Gordon was actually closer to our goal than Dan Burn when those goals happened.
And by the way, Gordon has had to help out in defense a lot with. Don't want to go there again, but he certainly has had to do a job on the left side of things.
I'm not blaming Dan Burn. I'm not blaming Dan Burn. I'm blaming the one who put him there. Dan Burn's a
Chris, the
centre
governor for a minute, and he's back in.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, man.
Chris out.
Yeah, Chris Oot.
Yep.
I'm out, man. But anyways, it's already 11 p.m. Oh my God.
Is it? Oh,
what the heck, man? We've been going on, man. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hey, last but not least, players to have played for Tottenham and Newcastle United. Let's go. One for Roy.
German genius.
That's easy though, man. Hey,
Stephen Carr.
No. Mighty win.
Sir Les.
We've got a famous one, the sexy one with a hair.
Les Ferdinand played for Spurs. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking.
What about Bogey?
The sexy one.
That was really before my time. Honestly, that was before my time, though.
Sol Campbell.
Oh, Sol Campbell. That's right, baby.
Yeah. Kevin Scott, if you want to go back.
Howie, you forgot one of the famous ones, man.
Gaza, obviously.
Oh, of course. War Gaza. Yeah. War Gaza, that's only war. That's only war for Newcastle, because for him, he ain't not even bothered to be Jordan.
Who's the sexiest player to ever play for us?
Ginola.
Yeah.
Ginola, oui. Elle m'a se pepe a pepe le piu. Win.
There's another one. I've got another one, and he's a
current Newcastle United player that played for Spurs and Newcastle, obviously. How man?
A current player.
Current man.
What playing for us?
We are not.
Right. Well, obviously, I play for them. He's playing for us now.
Trippier.
Oh wait, man.
Oh, Trips.
Trippier.
Yeah, but there's another famous one that we sold to them for about 35 million. Just about 10 years ago.
Sessegnon.
There you go.
Hey, Moussa Sissoko, man.
Oh, the defender as well. Sessegnon, the defender.
American legend that play for both.
There are no American legends.
The fullback. The right back, what was his name?
DeAndre Yedlin, baby. That's easy, man. That's easy for me, man. Hey, man, he was good, man. Stop lying. He was good.
I like him.
Woodgate.
I like him. He was an athlete.
Woodgate, yeah.
Jonathan Woodgate, that's right. Andros Townsend. Wow.
Yeah.
Andros Townsend, man, he was dross for us, man. I think he played like what, one game for us?
But Saha in the chat.
Nah, more than that though.
Assassin.
More than that though.
Who? He joined us when we got relegated and he left.
That's a good one, Saw.
Yeah, that's
remember him?
So yeah, but I can't remember him playing for.
Hey, Win, I got one for you though.
I can't remember him playing for Spurs.
Name starts with an R, surname with an F. Played in the 90s for both.
His initials are RF.
Yeah.
Was it Kenny Dalglish signed him?
Well, yes. No. No, Kenny Dalglish. That was late 90s. That was late 90s. So no, he wasn't playing late 90s.
All right.
For Newcastle.
So it's not
well, he was playing late 90s for Tottenham though. Rule Fox, man.
DXK is favourite player.
Yeah. Oh, way, man. Stephen Carr, baby.
Yeah, we said
that.
I said got the one that did the McDonald's advert.
Gary Brady.
The one that did the McDonald's advert.
Well, with Keegan.
No,
Alan Shearer did a McDonald's bag. Alan Shearer did a McDonald's.
Who was it?
He's not him though. Scott Parker.
Did he play for Spurs? Did he?
That's true though. But I remember him playing for Spurs though.
Not Fulham. I'm going off the chat. Yeah.
No, it was Fulham, not Spurs. Did he play?
No, he played for Spurs. He played for Spurs. Hey, those were my peak years as a fan, man. I remember him with Spurs. I don't remember him at Newcastle.
I'm getting taken to task by Jody Dan here with me saying about PIF losing interest. Hopkinson has written a transformation plan based on his 100-day review and will meet PIF who he says are the most engaged ownership that he's ever worked with on Monday. And he's been to Real Madrid.
There you go. Wayne Routledge, according to Cuff. Oh, that's
Wayne
a good
Routledge,
one too,
indeed, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I remember those guys. Those are my years, though. Those are my years. 2009 to 13, 14. That's when I was a Bairn coming up, excited. You know,
did nobody never get a game for them because he played for everybody else?
No, nobody never played for Spurs, man. Stop playing.
No.
He played for West Ham, Aston Villa. Played for Leicester, I believe, at the end.
He played for a few.
He played for. There was another Claret that he played for. I don't know if it's Burnley. No, not Burnley.
No.
It's another Claret.
West Ham.
West Ham.
West Ham Villa.
But yeah, Danny Rose.
Danny Rose, yeah.
Oh yes,
that was not too long ago.
Well, we signed someone who was always injured as well.
I looked up the guy you guys were talking about. Who was it? Scott Parker. I do remember him at Spurs because he played 2011, 2012. I remember that, but I didn't remember playing for Newcastle. But that was in 05, 06. So, hey man, I wasn't watching every game. I won't lie, but he didn't play that many for us though. Oh no, he played 61 games. That's a lot.
Scott Parker.
In 1 year?
Player of the year.
Yeah,
Lord have mercy. I don't remember that. Oh man.
Who? When we were bad, he was the one.
There's always a good player in the bad team. Don't buy a good player in the bad team, man. Yeah,
Chris, you're just too young.
Yeah, I'm too young, man. I do like to say that was my.
When you grow up, you'll get a bit wiser.
I do remember that was my start though, because I remember Shearer scoring against the Maccabi his last game. That was 05. I remember Solano scoring a penalty as well against the Maccabi.
Shearer's penalty was in 06.
Well, okay, 06, 05. So yeah, that's.
05,
I remember that
06
stuff, you know.
Season, yeah.
It was.
But you know, we were all Barons once, man. We were all Barons once, and the mighty win. Wish he was.
Apart from Win's always been old.
There you go. So anyway, folks,
old and wise.
Tomorrow match day. Don't forget
patient.
Don't forget a breakfast show early tomorrow, 8:30. I'm sure they're gonna talk about the game, but then the live match coverage for Newcastle United versus Tottenham at St. James's Park starts at 5:45 p.m. Just stay tuned. Hit the bell for notifications. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you to Queen of Heart for the lovely 5 gifted memberships. Go a long way. Can't say thank you enough. Tony T, Wissa, Irish, Toon Assassin, Housekeeping. Who else out there? Laura, Toon Wifey became a member. You know why. Tony.
Laura Toon Wifey joined.
Ronnie Amlet, thank you very much. And all of you out there. And to the new members. Because of Queenie, Davey, AT Toon, Pont Mags, Toon Steel, and James Kirby. All welcome to the Madhouse. We'll see you on the next one, folks. Away the lads.
And hells, if we didn't mention hell.